What's good, Fin Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason, and we are back here for another one. Your boy is still battling this cold, but we fighting through it. You know, if you ain't injured and you hurt, you can play. So let's go. I hope everyone's having a fantastic Wednesday evening. It was the first day of joint practices. We got a ton of video highlights to go over. I want to give a shout out to Garrett Lambert for the $5 donation. Appreciate that, my man. And he added, "Hey, Reason, wonderful to be with you, my brother. I trust all is wonderfully well with you and your family. God bless you guys. Go Fins, go Reason." Thank you very much, Garrett. I appreciate it. Everything's good besides the cold and my two daughters having a cold. Everything is absolutely gravy out here. Hope everyone, like I said, is had a blessed, happy Wednesday. Hump Day. We are coming towards Saturday, and on Saturday we will be playing the Atlanta Falcons in the preseason game. But before we get to that, obviously we got to get through these joint practices. And today, I had my little rant about the offensive line last night, and obviously they weren't paying attention because it didn't go very well for the offensive line today. Tua had some moments, but it wasn't that pretty for the offensive line today. Specifically, Austin Jackson. I'm getting to the point where why are we bothering? Let's see what we have with Liam Eichenberg there. I mean, that's what the preseason's for, to test out your guys to see where they land. And I would give Eichenberg the shot at left tackle. I see Florida Born found the new Waddle. I added a new Waddle emoji today. I'm going to update that eventually to him in a Dolphin uniform. But I added a Jalen Waddle emoji for the members today. So anyways, I think it's time just to see what Eichenberg can give us at left tackle. He's not a guard. I mean, why are we lying to ourselves? And I'm talking about the coaching staff right there. Just make it happen. Like, move the kid to guard. Like, I'm sorry. And I know Robert Hunt had some, Grady Jarrett had some big reps today for the Atlanta Falcons. Apparently at one point he was absolutely immovable inside. So we'll talk about that. We got a bunch to go over. As I'm going through the recap, I assume the Dolphins might upload some more media, so I might even have more than I have right now. But as it stands right now, I mean, we got 17 video clips to go over today. So we'll go over that. We'll go over all of those. How to give the old nose the blow. Well, and not the white stuff, by the way, in case you were wondering. Shout out to Gary Lambert for now becoming a member. Appreciate you, man. 117 man donates $10 did from Western New York. Must say your analysis is so on point, but I believe Austin Jackson could be a starter, but just needs some good coaching. I highlighted the coaching as being an issue that's holding Austin Jackson back, right? No continuity at the offensive line position. I mean, I would have went out and got Bill Callahan. I had a conversation with someone today about it. And, is Flores afraid of alphas? You know what I mean? That's what you got to ask yourself. Is he afraid of bringing in alpha? It's same thing I brought up with Jim Caldwell and stuff. By the way, if you are a Patreon member and you are not modded yet, please say so in the comments, because I will be adding some insider tidbits tonight to the Patreon when I'm done. Just some quick points. I got about 5 bullet points. Some Tua news, some Najee news, all Dolphins related, and as well as the tackle position too, a little tidbit on there. So I'll have some insider news on the Patreon tonight for all of y'all, for all of you Patreons. So let's get the housekeeping out of the way while we are here. All right. So If you'd like to donate to the channel, you can do so through the super chat, like a few of you already have done. Thank you very much to you guys that have already done so. You can also become a Phinside the NFL Patreon. And now Patreon, I'll be dropping insider info on there. You will get early access to my film studies when Game Pass gets their act together and all 22 comes up. Members of the channel will also get early access to my film studies as well. That'll be Patreon, and members will get about like 1 or 2 day early access. You also get modded. Now, if you want to become a member of the channel, you get a badge next to your name and you get access to all the custom emojis in the chat as well as the film study stuff. But you'll get modded if you are a Patreon. Patreon.com/Phinside the NFL. If you want to be a member as well, right below me next to subscribe, you can hit the join button. And there are multiple levels for you to join, as well as in the description, there's a direct link to take you to become a member and also for the Patreon. Patch5s.com, use code Phinside to save 20% off your order. You get something fancy like this nice tumbler here. My 2 shirts over there. And then backroomscollections.net, use code Reason to save 10% off your order. And then I want to shout out each and every one of my Patreons because I appreciate all of you guys. And you know, when videos get demonetized, y'all keep it rolling for me. So I appreciate each and every one of you because, man, just a couple weeks ago, we're at 48 Patreons. Now we're up to about 83, man. So working our way slowly but surely towards 100, man. And, you know, I credit a lot of the insider info. A lot of it's been spot on. So, Rhino Sith, Fake Spike, 94, KL Day, Ramon Casillas, Seth, Slim Pickens, Marino's Goat, Keith Davis, your boy Trev, Josh, Jazz 803, Martin, Zovegas, the Arkham Elf, Irving, Drew Boo, The Show, Jawar Thompson, Jeff Jackson, Andre Villarreal, J Love T, Todd Labruto, The Enigmatic Man, Georgia Boy 23, Florida born, Kentucky grown, Michael Rodriguez, Dennis Klassen, Philip Leduc, Tommy Flores, Ron Levy, Marino Ron, Anthony J. Marine, and then continuing on with the rest of the Patreons. Joe Crotwell, Rhonda, Logan 15, Just Keep Waddling, Justo, Robert Martin, Regil, Kyle Bowe, Drip Entertainment, Anything's Possible, Troy, Nelson Alfonso, Ernesto Gonzalez, Rafael Lopez, Franklin Lejeune, Timothy Sapinenza, Dylan, Brendan Smith, David Figley, Miami Fan 113, Fins 1, Quentin Martin, Ryan Williams, Mauricio, Zachary Greenhall, Robbie T, Daddy Dean, Brian Terry, Anthony Giandoletti, Joe Levesque, Jose Valdez, Junior Ronolo, Guy Corner, Mitchell Gordon, Vaughn Green, Dennis Klassen, Derek Batten, Zachary, a.k.a. Z-Man, Finn Shady 1313, Victor Fernandez, Maurice Perkins, Finn's Weekly, Hawaii Dolphin 808, G Firm 456, Flip City Cruise, Bob Oliver, Ian Maggle, Spencer Richardson, Russell Grayson, IT Respect. Again, if you are one of those Patreons and you are not modded yet, you don't see a wrench next to your name, go ahead, comment in the section below, and I will make sure to put it, go in the comment live comments right now, and I'll make sure to mod you, okay? Now, to each and every one of my 116 channel members, Damien Deese, MF Fins 1, Seth, Twizzle, Law 10442, Timothy Whiteman, Yawa Bulla, Bruce 1, Foxing Around, Dr. Draft, Timothy Sapinenza, Nico, Mighty Dolphin, Fake Spike 94, Jazza 803, D Ray 91, Tilly Flips, Cruzito, Marcus 84, Ty Rhodes, Florida born, Kentucky grown, SC 42, Cody Patron, The Show, Joey Defense Nation, Kevin Williams, Rhonda, Philip Leduc, Zachary Harris, Dennis Klassen, Powerhouse TJ, Thunder Cleus, Birdman, 100 Anti, Ron Casillas, Marino's Goat, Michael Simmons, Ron Levy, Chad Marcione, Todd Marine, Barry Bailey, DC, The Homie, Richmond Webb, Furious, KL Day, Rhino Sith, Irving, Julian, Scorpion, Kings, 271, Ty Jenkins, Whale 1, Innes Campbell, Mari, Fred Rivera, Justin Dunker, Cash, Zanny Jinzo, your boy Trev, Caddyshack, Fins Forever 72, Storm Warrior, D-Hug All Day, Daryl Canup, Big Time, Wayne Hedgeman, Quint Riddle, Takumazi, Harriet Clements, Canadian Fins Gone Wild, Todd Beards, Pierre Louis, James Steele, Dolphin Don, Jeremiah Kelly, Fins for Life, Big John Stud, the Corn 72, Chef Jew, Tommy, Robert Martin, Tony Asawa, Sinatra 305, Ricky Butts, Joel Fields, Daddy Dean, BK2 Day, sorry, Dylan, Daus M, Ramon El Artondo, A Turner, Serge, Chalk Vanilla Straw, Rafael Ferrero, Sherrod Ford, Miami Fan 113, James Jordan, twice over, Ivan Ulysses, Josh Cheeto, Logan 15, Sal Pao, Joe Levesque, Robert Taylor, Jose Valdez, Big Sense Spence 87, DM, Rock Hawkins, Franklin Lejeune, Kyle Bow, Simone Sniper 13, Esteban Santana, Don Parlamento, Godavaloa, Stetino, Les Pal Pal Les Palatok, Robert Fuller, and of course, the latest one today was the homie Mr. Lambert. I appreciate you for becoming a member. And yeah, Garrett Lambert, shout out to you for becoming a member. And shout out to Irving for the $1.49 super sticker. Appreciate that. All right. Now that's all said and done. Oh boy. Oh, by the way, shout out to Rafael Lopez for the PayPal donation. He said, Horizon, you are goated in the Dolphin community for sure. Go get that scouting job, please, and fix this O-line. And he donated $6.04. Appreciate you, homie. Appreciate you. All right. So now that we've gotten all that out of the way, let's go and let's get into today's information for everything. Man, I'm gonna have to at this rate, I'm gonna have to create a freaking. Let's be honest with ourselves. I'm gonna have to create like photos and just slap them up there. Okay, hold on a sec. I see there's some Patreons that need to be taken care of, so we'll do that. We'll do that. G Firm. Okay, Garrett just became a Patreon as well, so there you go. So let me take care of him and add him moderator. Okay, IT Respect is a Patreon. There you go. All right. G Firm and Tommy. So let me find G Firm, sorry. G Firm, you are now added. And then Tommy. Tommy, can you comment right now so I can add you? Yeah, I know, David Barry. There you go. You pretty much nailed it. So, Tommy, I need you to comment right now because your comment is like lost amongst everything. Tommy Flores, you need to comment and then I can add you. All right? I can take care of you. Oh, there you go. Boom. Done. All right. Now, let's get it rolling. And David Barry's 100% right. I just got to add the Patreons to the opening credits and we're good. So, Tommy Brinkley, all right. Are you a Patreon, Tommy Brinkley? Okay, we got 268 of you watching. Go ahead and smash that like button. Tommy Brinkley says he's a Patreon. Let me just check this out. Make sure this is taken care of here. As is Manuel Ferreira. And Travis Brown just joined. So shout out to all of you guys. Travis and Manuel Ferreira, please go ahead and comment in the comment section so I can add you as mods, right? All right, let me see here. Just like in Star Wars. I know, really. Okay. So, yeah, I just have Tommy Flores right now as a Patreon. I don't see you here, Tommy Brinkley. Anyways, Travis, and Manuel Ferreira, go ahead and comment, and then I will add you to mod. Now, that said, let's get into everything because we got a ton to go over. All right, ton. So, all right. With all that said, let's get into everything today. King 70. Okay, gotcha. Let me make sure I take care of you here. All right. Now, today was not a good day for the left side of the line. Even the homie Robert Hunt had a few reps that didn't go very well. So King and Travis have taken care of you guys. And shout out to Nathan Berkey. If you're in the comments, go ahead and comment right now, and I'll take care of you too. All right. Now, things did not go the most amazing for the offensive line today. I mean, when you're right, you're right. So let's get into everything today. We got a bunch to go over here for you guys, and let's get into it. All right. So, and by the way, shout out to the Atlanta Falcons beat writers for being like the most laziest people in the world, like trying to find these guys to like get some extra content from them is like trying to find a needle in the haystack. Like, it's ridiculous. Nathan, I just took care of you. So, I mean, whatever. We have I did find some from them, so we got some. All right. So let's hop right into it. All right. Let's start off with Alain Poupar and what he saw today at training camp. So, highlights and lowlights and observations for the August 18th Miami Dolphins joint practice with the Atlanta Falcons at the Baptist Health Training Complex. Dolphins attendance report: Devontae Parker, Will Fuller, Albert Wilson, Isaiah Ford, Ethan Carter in attendance, but were not there. In attendance, but not practicing: Vince Beagle, Javaris Davis, Brandon Jones, Jesse Davis is back. Noah Igbenogany was in a red jersey. He got hurt. Remember, he got hurt with that shoulder injury in the Bears game, right? When he made that play, made that tackle to force a fourth down. Linebacker Sam Iguavine was also absent after being placed on the reserve COVID-19 list. He becomes the sixth Dolphins player to have been placed on that list this summer, following Larnell Coleman, tight ends Mike Gesicki, Adam Shaheen, and Ethan Carter, as well as Preston Williams. There's a new offensive lineman at practice wearing 75, and guessing that's newcomer Greg Little, which it was. As one would expect, given that he just joined the team, Little did very little in team drills, though he got in there at left tackle with the second team offense late in a late 2-minute drill. The first competitive drill featured receivers going one-on-one against linebackers or defensive backs, and Kirk Merritt abused, that's my boy, Fabian Morrow with a double move before catching a long pass from Jacoby Brissett. Reed Sinnett threw a perfect pass, back shoulder throw downfield to Jakeem Grant, but Grant failed to make the catch. Grant had a couple drops today. Brissett had a nice completion down the middle to Robert Foster on a play where he might have been sacked in a real game. Almost simultaneously, Brissett threw a bullet down the middle to Kirk Merritt in a 7-on-7 period, and Nick Needham picked off Felipe Franks on the far field. Jakeem Grant fumbled after catching a pass from Tua Tagovailoa. Tua threw a 45-yard touchdown pass to Salvon Ahmed down the right sideline after Ahmed got behind the Atlanta defender. Malcolm Perry came back with a nice high-pointing catch on a throw by Tua. Cornerback Cre'Von LeBlanc came up with the Dolphins' second interception in the 7-on-7 period. This one after was tipped by an Atlanta receiver. Jakeem Grant went down on a kick return and is limping a bit. He returned another kickoff shortly thereafter. Jalen Waddle dropped a perfectly thrown pass by Tua on the first play of another 11-11 period. Jalen Phillips got snaps with the first team defense. Tua did a nice job stepping up in the pocket after getting pressure from the outside on both sides. Brissett had to stop the play after pressure. Waddle made a spectacular leaping grab off a Tua pass thrown behind him. Cre'Von LeBlanc gave up a long completion, but came back the next play to make a diving pass breakup. Trill Williams wrapped up the 11-11 on the far field by breaking up a long pass attempt. Tua starts off a 7-on-7 red zone drill with a nice throw down the seam to Adam Shaheen. You know, he should have tried on the play early against the Bears that resulted in an interception. Tua started off a red zone 11-11 period with a touchdown throw to wide open Shaheen on a play that looks similar except to the opposite side to the touchdown the Dolphins gave up against Chicago on Saturday. Matt Ryan threw a touchdown pass to Calvin Ridley on a slant with Xavier Howard in coverage on the short slant. Durham Smythe failed to come back with the catch on a low throw that Tua tried to fit between defenders. Smythe came back on the next play to catch a touchdown pass from Brissett on a crossing route. Robert Foster, who had a really good practice, caught 2 touchdown passes in a red zone 11-11 period. Jason Sanders nailed a 54-yard field goal attempt in practice. The teams do a 2-minute drill with Atlanta offense starting and everybody on the same field. Matt Ryan completes his first 3 passes and looks good in the process. After an incompletion, Matt Ryan connects with Tajay Sharp despite tight coverage by Howard. Ryan throws to the end zone for a first-round pick, Kyle Pitts, but Eric Rowe breaks up at the last moment. Looking at Ryan, of course, we can't help but wonder if he'd still be with the Dolphins had they taken him with the first pick of the 2008 draft instead of taking Jake Long. Tua begins the Dolphins' offense's 2-minute drill with a completion down the middle to Jakeem Grant. Wide receiver Kirk Merritt got snaps with the first team offense in that drill. Let's go, Kirk, baby. Captain Kirk. Beam me up. The Dolphins defense gave up a 60-yard touchdown pass from A.J. McCarron to Juwan Green. Don't like to see that one. Brissett had a beautiful throw down the middle to Smythe, who later was stripped by the Atlanta defender, though the ball went out of bounds. Brissett later had another nice throw downfield to Kirk Merritt, who continues to have a strong camp. Foster went up to catch a pass from Brissett in the back of the end zone and did a great job of getting his feet in bounds. Yeah, I heard Kirk Merritt. I even talked to Larry privately before he went live today, and even he said that boy Kirk Merritt was out there making plays today. So absolutely good things to see, man. Good things to see from the homie Kirk Merritt. Absolutely loving him. Let me just look at something here. Okay, hold on. Let me take care of I see you, Manuel, and we'll get into the next article here. We'll get into some Palm Beach Post. I see Manuel, so I got to take care of Manuel. Patreons got to take care of them, man. Help with the lifeblood. All right. You are right here. There you go, Manuel. You are officially modded. All right. Now, hopefully Kirk Merritt can translate to the field, but like let's with how beat up this freaking wide receiver room is, like, give him a shot with the ones on against the Atlanta Falcons. Again, I'll be live for that Atlanta Falcons Miami Dolphins pregame, just so you know. All right, now Palm Beach Post. This is what the Palm Beach Post had to say regarding practice. And I got to remember to cancel all these subscriptions when the season starts. Jeez. Okay. So Sam Aguvine was placed on the COVID list. Greg Little has arrived wearing number 75. Among the Miami players not immediately spotted: Will Fuller, Albert Wilson, Parker, Ford, Beagle, Javaris Davis, Brandon Jones, Igbenogany, red contact jersey. Jesse Davis has returned after the birth of a child. Congratulations again to Jesse Davis. Some things that they noticed: Xavier Howard had a pass breakup on a Matt Ryan pass in one-on-ones. Howard later was beaten deep on a long pass play. We have that highlight. Jason McCourty is starting again at safety. Jalen Phillips is the starting edge. Christian Wilkins opened up with the Miami first team defense. Justin Coleman is still Miami's starting nickel corner. John Jenkins and Adam Butler caused some problems in the middle of Atlanta's line. The Dolphins' defensive line rotation is deep and talented. Jamal Perry really enjoys hitting people, even in practice. Mike Gesicki grabbed a contested throw from the grasp of Eric Harris. Kirk Merritt blew past Fabian Morrow for that long pass. Jakeem Grant couldn't spin around and make the adjustment to make a back shoulder catch. Jesse Davis at right tackle, Robert Hunt at right guard, Dieter at center, Eichenberg at left guard, Austin Jackson at left tackle. Gesicki reached high to make a nice catch from Tagovailoa. Receivers are Jakeem Grant, Jalen Waddle, and Matt Collins. Jacoby Brissett, with a man in his face, unleashed a nice throw for completion over the middle to Robert Foster. Kervon LeBlanc recorded an interception. Greg Little lined up with the backups at left tackle. Tagovailoa hit Salvin Ahmed down the sideline for a long touchdown. Nick Needham recorded an interception. Xavier Howard lined up opposite of Kyle Pitts with the Atlanta tight end lined up at receiver. Jesse Davis allowed pressures, sacks of Tagovailoa. On the next play, the right side of the line committed a false start. I heard Greg Little's first play with the second team offense, he had a false start as well. Lynn Bowden and Robert Foster are seeing more snaps with the ones with all the wide receiver injuries, yet Lynn Bowden ain't making any of these reports. Go figure that one out. Outstanding catch by Jalen Waddle on a ball from Tagovailoa that was nearly out of Waddle's range. Matt Collins caught a touchdown pass from Tua Tagovailoa. Hollins was penalized for dunking on the goalpost and the fans booed. Remember, they're really locking down and restricting the whole taunting rule this year, right? Falcons with blown assignment against Adam Shaheen. Tagovailoa tosses easiest touchdown he'll ever throw. Brissett hits Robert Foster for a score. All right, let's get into, let's keep it rolling, and now we'll get into what the Sun Sentinel had to say. And actually, you know what? We'll do the Miami Herald first. I got a couple Miami Herald things I want to look at. 2 Miami Herald articles. Then we'll get into the Sun Sentinel. And then we got a video from the Sun Sentinel. And then we got some Atlanta stuff to go over that I wanted to show all you guys, right? So let's get into the Miami Herald first and foremost, okay? So here is live updates from today's joint practice from the Miami Herald. We'll start at the bottom. Okay. Quarterback Noah Benogany was shaken up in the Bears game with non-contact jersey. Tight end Hunter Long is wearing a brace on the knee that he injured last week. He hopes to be available to play soon. Sam McGaveen was placed on the COVID injured reserve list. That means he's either tested positive or was close contact with someone who was. He's had a good camp, but he's on the bubble, and he's the only player on the COVID list at this time. Greg Little showed up wearing number 75. Jesse Davis was back. Vince Beagle was out of his boot, and Brandon Jones and Javaris Davis were here but don't appear to be practicing. They all have injuries. The Dolphins remain shorthanded at receiver. Devontae Parker, Will Fuller, and Albert Wilson are sidelined. Fuller has missed nearly all of camp, and Parker most of it. Isaiah Ford also wasn't spotted. Sethan Carter, who injured his knee against the Bears, is also out. Brian Flores has suggested that Carter's injury is not serious. 10:45, Tagovailoa was very sharp early on one-on-one throws against the Falcons defensive players. Jalen Waddle and Mike Gesicki both caught nice throws over the middle, but the Falcons forced incompletions on 2 subsequent passes, and Lynn Bowden dropped a pass over the middle. Lynn. Also in one-on-ones, Jacoby Brissett threw a beautiful deep ball to Kirk Merritt, who outran Falcons cornerback Fabian Morrow for a touchdown, but Brissett overthrew Malcolm Perry on a deep pass after Perry got open. At 10:55 and 11:11 drills, the Dolphins went back to the offensive line they've used most of the past 2 weeks. Austin Jackson at left tackle, Eichenberg at left guard, Dieter at center, Robert Hunt at right guard, Jesse Davis at right tackle. Myles Gaskin began drills with a 15-yard run on a play that was well blocked, but 2 other Dolphins running plays were swallowed up by the Falcons linemen, including one nice play by Grady Jarrett to stop Malcolm Brown for a short gain. Tua Tagovailoa threw one incompletion on a well-thrown pass over the middle and then hit Mike Gesicki for a short gain. Jacoby Brissett hit Robert Foster for a 20-yard gain over the middle. The Dolphins' second-team offensive line got some push on rushing plays, a welcome sign after Saturday's debacle. Jared Dokes had one nice run. One reason for that, Solomon Kinley, who started on Saturday, was on the second team offensive line, and he's the best run blocker in that group. He helped open the hole for Jared Dokes. On the other field, the Dolphins' first team defense went against the Falcons' first team offense, and Matt Ryan completed a long pass to Kyle Pitts over the middle. There appeared to be a blown assignment, though Pitts, no breaking news here, is really good. 11:05, Tagovailoa threw a beautiful deep pass about 45 yards to Salvon Ahmed, beating a Falcons defender in 7-on-7 drills. Then Tagovailoa delivered a 15-yard dart to Malcolm Perry. Jakeem Grant fumbled in 7-on-7 drills. Jacoby Brissett had a nifty throw to Kirk Merritt for a decent gain on an intermediate route. Merritt has looked good early today. Malcolm Perry couldn't haul in a catchable pass from Brissett over the middle. Nick Needham picked off Philippe Franks in 7-on-7 drills. Kervon LeBlanc also had an interception for the Dolphins in 7-on-7s, a ball that bounced off a Falcons receiver. Greg Little is working with the second team at left tackle, so he's a depth piece like we all suspected. In the second set of 11-11s, Jesse Davis' pass breakdown led to a Tua throwaway. A Tua 20-yard sideline throw to Matt Collins wasn't poorly thrown, but was incomplete against good coverage. But then Tua completed a slant to Mike Gesicki for what would have been a first down in a real game. The Falcons then had coverage sack on Tua, whose first team receivers today are Jalen Waddle, Hollins, and Grant. 5 receivers are sidelined. That's not good, man. Lynn Bowden bobbled but caught a short pass from Brissett. But Robert Foster dropped an easy catch over the middle from Brissett. Patrick Laird then caught a short sideline pass from Brissett. On the field with the Falcons' first team offense and the Dolphins' first team defense, Eric Rowe made a nice playing coverage against Kyle Pitts. Bernardrick McKinney stopped the Falcons' run for a loss. At 11:30, Jakeem Grant got up slowly during special teams drills and walked to the sideline with a slight limp, but he's back practicing. At 11:45, Jalen Waddle dropped a slant from Tua Tagovailoa. Waddle has been generally sharp throughout camp, but then he contorted his body to make a difficult catch on a Tua throw. Then Tua had to throw the ball away because nobody got open. Lynn Bowden, Waddle, and Robert Foster were the first team receivers for this third set of 11-11 drills. The Dolphins are without 6 receivers today. They updated it looks like. Tua then completed a short dump off to Malcolm Brown. Facing pressure on the outside, Tua then escaped for a short gain. And then he delivered a 10-yarder to Adam Shaheen, completed a 10-yarder to Jakeem Grant. Malcolm Perry picked up chunk yards on a short sideline pass from Brissett and then caught another pass from Brissett for a 15-yard gain. The second team offensive line, Adam Pankey and Larnell Coleman at tackle, Matt Skura at center, and Solomon Kinley and Jermaine Luminar at guard. On the defensive side, Nick Needham had a nice pass breakup. He had a pick earlier. At noon, Tua threaded a pass between 2 defenders for a 15-yard touchdown to Adam Shaheen on 7-on-7 drills. Tua then hit Matt Collins over the middle for another TD in 7-on-7 red zone drills. Hollins dunked over the ball over the crossbar, drawing a penalty. Then Shaheen caught another short touchdown from Tua. And if I remember correctly, Tua was really impressive in the red zone today. On the field with defensive drills, Justin Coleman and Trill Williams had good plays and coverage. Williams, the undrafted Syracuse rookie, continues to impress. Coleman had a solid camp as a first-team nickel. Continuing on, 12:15, Tua threw another touchdown pass for Adam Shaheen. The third TD hookup between those two in 10 minutes. The latest is actually in real time, guys. Adam Shaheen had 3 touchdown catches from Tua in 6 minutes of real time in red zone drills. So pretty impressive. The latest was in 11-11 red zone drills and went for 20 yards. Jeremy Smythe dropped a red zone pass from Tua. It should have been a touchdown. Austin Jackson allows a sack. Brissett hit Robert Foster for a touchdown in the back of the end zone, 11-11 red zone drills. Then Brissett closed his fourth set of 11-11 drills with another touchdown to Foster, again in the back of the end zone. On the other field, Calvin Ridley beat Xavier Howard on a 5-yard slant for a touchdown from Matt Ryan, but the Dolphins also had good coverage on a couple of red zone throws by Ryan. Andrew Van Ginkel knocked away a pass from Ryan. So, continuing on. 12:45, practice ended with the first and second teams going against each other. On the first Falcons drive, Matt Ryan drove Atlanta down the field for a field goal. Javon Holland nearly intercepted a pass during that drive, and Eric Rowe knocked away a potential touchdown from Kyle Pitts. So to Kyle Pitts, sorry. Miami opened that drive with a defense of Emmanuel Ogbah, Adam Butler, Brendan Scarlett, Jerome Baker, Andrew Van Ginkel, Duke Riley, Xavier Howard, Byron Jones, Justin Coleman, Jason McCourty, and Eric Rowe. On the Dolphins' first possession, Tagovailoa completed a 20-yarder to Jakeem Grant, but the drive then stalled when Steve Means beat Austin Jackson for yet another sack. Miami turned it over on downs. On Atlanta's next possession, A.J. McCarron threw a long touchdown to Juwan Green with Terrell Bounds among the Dolphins victimized on the busted coverage. The Dolphins scored on their next drive when Jacoby Brissett pass to Robert Foster in the back of the end zone. Brissett was sharp on his drive. So there are the news and notes from the Miami Herald. Austin Jackson up here, like blocking like Tim Tebow as a tight end. Always good to see. Before we continue on with more training camp stuff, I wanted to just share this other article from the Miami Herald that I thought would interest you guys. And it's about the offensive line. So, before last weekend, the Dolphins starting center Michael Dieter hadn't played a center game before 2016 in college at Wisconsin. Before late July, the Dolphins left guard Liam Eichenberg had lined up only once in his lifetime at left guard, and that was at Notre Dame practice, not even in a game. The Dolphins' new starting right guard, Robert Hunt, ended last season as one of the NFL's top-graded right tackles over the final month, according to PFF, which they call the popular metrics site for some reason. And the Dolphins' backup left guard, Jermaine Illuminor, hasn't even had a chance at right tackle with Miami, despite opening the 2020 season as the Patriots starter at right tackle. Say this about the Dolphins: they're willing to think outside the box. Not always good. About players' position on the offensive line. They value versatility and flexibility and experiment with the linemen if they're in a lab. Like they're in a lab. And that has resulted in major changes, not only for Dieter, who was drafted by Miami as a guard and started 15 games there as a rookie in 2019, but also for the Dolphins' 2 second-round offensive line picks in the past 2 drafts, Hunt and Eichenberg. When the Dolphins began 2 days of joint practices with the Atlanta Falcons on Wednesday, they opened up with what their likely starting offensive line: Jackson at left tackle, Eichenberg at left guard, Dieter at center, Hunt at right guard, and Jesse Davis at right tackle. Jackson and Davis both had breakdowns in pass protection on Wednesday. Both allowed pressures from Dante Fowler and Steven Means that followed the late Dolphins drive. There were also a couple coverage sacks against Tua Tagovailoa where he was given enough time to throw. The first team lined up open holes in the run game at times, but 2-time Pro Bowler Grady Jarrett, not Jackson, got the better of young Dolphins lineman, Hunt in particular, at other times. Solomon McKinley, who still has a chance to beat out Eichenberg at left guard, anchored the second-team offensive line with close practice with a new left tackle, Greg Little, the former Carolina Panther second-round pick who was acquired on Tuesday. Little committed a false start penalty and limited work on Wednesday. It's far too soon to know whether Little, a disappointment in Carolina, will ever challenge Jackson for first-team work. This is clearly Jackson's job despite his uneven play in camp and Saturday against the Chicago Bears in the preseason game. Tagovailoa spoke with Jackson after practice on Wednesday, discussing some of the Falcons' defensive fronts and what they're both seeing. Both Eichenberg and Hunt spoke about their positions switches this week, with Hunt's move to guard appearing close to definite and Eichenberg's move to guard still subject to change. Eichenberg, who was a left tackle at Notre Dame, spent the offseason program at right tackle before the Dolphins informed him on the 4th day of training camp that he was being moved to left guard. Eichenberg said he was kind of surprised but also excited when told about the move. He said he didn't ask the thinking behind it, and the team never offered an explanation. I wasn't down about it, he said. I played guard one practice at Notre Dame, so I have a little experience doing it. I have great coaches here that know what they're talking about and can help me in regards to playing guard. This isn't the ACC kid, though. Toughest part of playing guard, you're just moving bigger guys. They're heavier and they're stronger. It's not as much speed, just pure strength. It's different than tackle, a tighter area to work in. This is what I told you about. The guy's 302 pounds. He does not have the anchor and the functional strength in his base right now to be a guard. He just doesn't. Eichenberg, who has been competent at his new position, said he has worked to learn the nuances of the position by studying tape of Colts guard Quentin Nelson, his friend and former Fighting Irish alum. No, Eichenberg missed the Bears preseason game with a shoulder injury, but says he's fine now. Is his hope to be a day one starter? I don't think anybody out here wants to not start, he said. As for Hunt, the Dolphins have used him as a starting right guard in all 14 practice and the one preseason game so far. He looks like he could thrive there. Who would have thunk? As soon as we drafted this guy, I told y'all he's a guard. While the Dolphins have never explained the position switch publicly, a Dolphins front office official told a source that the team believes Hunt has a higher ceiling at guard and has Pro Bowl potential at the position. When we drafted him, I said this guy can be an all-pro guard and the best guard in the class. Thank you for listening to me, Miami Dolphins. Thank you. The transition has been kind of smooth, he said. I'm just getting used to it. Hunt sees this advantage for himself as a guard. I think I can move. I think I can play faster at guard, but it's different. A different ball game from me being out here with fast guys to going in against the strong guys. It's different. Mostly in here, guys are trying to bull rush. I think I possess some of that with my strength and my quickness. I think I'll be okay. As for Dieter, he has been the starting center all 14 practices in one preseason game. He practiced at center all last season after starting at guard as a rookie in 2019. There's been some good and some bad, he said. A lot to clean up. Matt Skura, who started 51 games for the Ravens, remained the second-team center on Wednesday. One dynamic that all the young linemen appreciate, the presence of Jesse Davis, who returned on Wednesday after the birth of his child. It's nice having Jesse because he understands how everything works, Eichenberg said. There's no doubt he's the leader in that room. The question is whether the line that will likely feature 4 young starters matures quickly enough to be a strength and not a liability by early in the regular season. And I think ball game's 100% right. And the conversations we've had and what he said publicly, they are going to struggle for the first 6 games. That's just what's going to happen. I mean, we got to put up with it. So let's just hope the highs outweigh the lows. Let's put it that way. All right. Let's get into what the Sun Sentinel had to say today regarding practice. I think it's easy. And, I got to tell you, those Atlanta reporters are lazy as hell, man. I'm here on The Athletic, and the girl was at practice today, Tori McClenery or whatever, and she hasn't posted her article from joint practice for today. Like, give me a break. You lazy. What are they paying you for? All right. Now let's look at what the Sun Sentinel had to say regarding today's practice. Eric Rowe heard all of the draft buzz about tight end Kyle Pitts and how he's supposed to be a generational talent. It's one of the many reasons the Miami Dolphins strong safety was looking forward to this week's joint practices against the Atlanta Falcons. This wasn't Rowe's chance. This was one of the many. This wasn't just Rowe's chance to sharpen his skills as a tight end coverage specialist, but he wanted to see Pitts, who the Falcons selected 4th overall in the 2021 NFL Draft, up close to see how he stacked up. While Pitts made a couple of catches during 7-on-7 11 work, Rowe delivered a couple of pass breakups, including one in the end zone during the hurry-up situational period of practice, which prevented the Falcons from scoring a touchdown in the closing minutes. In the closing minutes of that period. I got a hand in and ripped it down, he said. I'm just checking something out here. Yeah, I got a hand in and ripped his arm down, kind of what we are taught to do when we're not looking for the ball to time it up before the pass interference, Rowe said Wednesday, describing his score-preventing play. Rowe's pass breakup forced Atlanta to kick a field goal. It's a good work by the homie Eric Rowe. It was a good work day, Rowe said, who contributed 91 tackles, 2 interceptions, and forced a fumble last season. Pitts moves like a receiver. That's good for me to see because a lot of tight ends with this skill set aren't too big. And it's great to get practice against the ones that are. It shows what people have been saying. He's got good movement. He's still learning, but he's going to be a good player. He's still just a rookie, but you can see when someone has talent. Greg Little, who the Dolphins traded a 2022 7th-round pick to acquire from the Carolina Panthers on Tuesday, arrived in South Florida minutes before Wednesday's practice, but participated on a limited basis. Little was subbed in with the second-team offensive line during the 11-11 period, playing left tackle despite not knowing the playbook. He committed a false start on one of his handful of snaps during the team period. Adding Little should provide Miami the flexibility to move Adam Pankey to another position of need. Yeah, to the cut list is where they need to move Adam Pankey on Miami's struggling offensive line. Before Little arrived, Pankey was one of the team's better reserves, which is why he's been playing out of position at left tackle. Camp observations. Liam Eichenberg was back at left guard with the starters, replacing Solomon McKinley. Eichenberg missed last Saturday's preseason game against the Bears because of a shoulder injury he suffered in practice. Robert Hunt, the Dolphins' projected starter at right guard, struggled at times blocking Grady Jarrett, a two-time Pro Bowler for the Falcons. Quarterback Tua Tagovailoa hit tailback Salvon Ahmed for a 45-yard bomb for a touchdown during 7-on-7s, providing more proof that Ahmed covered by a linebacker out wide is a mismatch. Tight end Adam Shaheen, who has been having a strong camp, delivered a wide-open red zone touchdown for Tagovailoa during 11-11s. Nick Needham pulled down an interception during 7-7s, and Crevon LeBlanc had a diving interception in 7-on-7s on a ball that ricocheted off a Falcons receiver's hands. Robert Foster caught a touchdown in the back of the end zone on a well-thrown ball from quarterback Jacoby Brissett from the 10 during Miami's second-team situational series. Falcons receiver Calvin Ridley got the better of his one-on-one matchups with Dolphins Pro Bowl cornerback Xavier Howard. Stock up. Numerous injuries at receiver have provided Kirk Merritt, a practice squad player from last season, the opportunity to work with the second-team offense. The former Arkansas State standout instantly became Brissett's favorite target. Merritt, who has previously been a backup quarterback, received Reed Sinnett's favorite target, not Ryan, scoring a long touchdown during one-on-ones and made a number of contested catches to move the chain. Stock down. Tackle Austin Jackson continues to struggle, clearly. Tackle Austin Jackson struggles, which began with last week's joint practice in Chicago, continued during Wednesday's session as constant pressure was coming from the left side of Miami's offensive line. Jackson allowed a would-be sack in the final 11-11 period during a situational drill for Miami's offense, ending the drive. After the play, Jackson and Tagovailoa could be seen on the sideline having an animated conversation, which Tagovailoa described as communication with his linemen so everyone could get on the same page. Injury update: Hunter Long was seen doing individual drills at practice wearing a knee brace. It was his first practice action since hurting the knee on August 8th. Vince Beagle was seen out of his walking boot but did not practice in drills. Devontae Parker, Will Fuller, Albert Wilson, Isaiah Ford did not return to practice. Ethan Carter had not returned yet from his left leg injury he suffered in the preseason opener against the Bears. Igbenogany was in a no-contact red jersey, and Brandon Jones and Javaris Davis were also held out of Wednesday's drills. All right, now let's get into some Atlanta observations from their side. Don't want to show just our own side, right? So here's what the Atlanta Journal Chronicle, I believe it's called, said. Let me make sure the name of the paper is. Yes, the Atlanta Journal Constitution. I apologize. Falcons and Dolphins wrapped up practice Wednesday by working 2-minute drill right before halftime. Falcons quarterback Matt Ryan drove the offense for a field goal. The Falcons' first-team offense got a stop, and then A.J. McCarron threw a touchdown pass to Juwan Green. Jacoby Brissett then led the Dolphins backups on a touchdown drive. I don't care what Arthur Smith said by any stretch of the imagination. Is that all they have in their update? I'm telling you, these Atlanta ones are lazy as hell. All right, so here's some observations from an Atlanta reporter on Twitter that I wanted to show you guys. Michael Rothstein. So it's mostly focused on Atlanta, but still. The Atlanta Falcons and Miami Dolphins. Let me take a drink. Had the first of two joint practices, a close to 2-hour workout That was crisp in execution and a day of work Arthur Smith felt good about after. Smith largely watched his offense. Calvin Ridley was impressive Wednesday and often looked like the best player on the field regardless of position. He matched up often against Miami star corner Xavier Howard, and it didn't go well for Howard, starting with the one-on-ones where he just ran by Howard on a fly route for a touchdown. He caught a pass on a nice middle-in route on Howard and beat him again in 11-11 work in a red zone period. Ridley ran a slant on – I told y'all, Calvin Ridley's the truth, man. Ridley ran a slant on Howard that Ridley caught in the end zone for a touchdown. If there was any question about his potential this year, that's been answered pretty quickly. He's going to be Matt Ryan's favorite throughout the season. He's also made plays not against Xavier Howard as well. When he was on the field, he was an impact player. The Falcons continue to have a pass rush. This wasn't a tackling practice. Neither Wednesday nor Thursday will have that level of live action. But when the first team was out there, Atlanta was able to reach Tua Tagovailoa in a 2-minute type of situation at the end of practice. Both Dante Fowler and Steven Means were able to pressure Tagovailoa. Fowler would have had a sack. In a red zone period, Brandon Copeland got around the edge to at least put pressure on, if not fake sack, Tagovailoa as well. Means and Errol Thompson also had would-be pressures or sacks Wednesday. It was a good showing from the front seven of the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons' coverage, though, had some problems at points. Tight ends in particular were routinely open against Atlanta's defense, and Adam Shaheen had a standout day against the Falcons. Didn't see all of the Atlanta's defensive plays that things were going simultaneously on both fields, but it was an issue. Understand, though, it was just one day of practice. Your AJ Terrell moment of the day, as mentioned before, didn't watch the offense a ton because I was focused on the offense and offensive line, but Terrell did have a good pass breakup in 11-11 on tight end Mike Gesicki. He also didn't get beat much by Miami receivers, although Jalen Waddle had a good day and was matched up on him from time to time from what I saw during those periods. So left guard was an issue for them today. 3 catches of the day. The first from Waddle was an extension grab in the middle of the Atlanta zone from an off-target pass from Tagovailoa. It was a quick play, but one that showed the first rounder's athleticism. Another from Miami was an actually incomplete pass, but an incredibly athletic play from Gesicki to make a leaping one-handed grab over Deion Jones, their linebacker. The third came from in a situational team period where Atlanta receiver Juwan Green broke free for a 60-yard touchdown pass from A.J. McCarron, a perfect throw from McCarron, who hasn't had many perfect throws this camp. Why wouldn't he have it against us, right? So the running backs had decent days, but nothing to write home about. Kyle Pitts continued to have a strong camp. So Miami's, and then it talks about what Rowe said regarding him. He beat Rowe on a deep corner route and one-on-ones, and again in second one-on-one rep up, Rowe broke up a pass intended for him in the end zone during red zone work. Christian Williamson had a nice pass breakup on Robert Foster in the limited situational work at the end of practice, a drive that saw TJ Green left what appeared to be cramping for them. Undrafted rookie free agent Dwayne Johnson replaced him. Is that The Rock? Mike Davis also had a nice run where he got to the second level. I remember seeing that today. All right. Now, I'm just giving the Athletic all the time in the world to get something up, and they can't. All right, let's take a look at what Dave Hyde and Dave Furones had to say today regarding camp. All right, let's play this video.
What's up, Dolphins fans? David Furones alongside Dave Hyde here. Dave and Dave at Dolphins training camp, joint practices against the Atlanta Falcons. We just saw the first of 2 today. Dave, first, we see the Dolphins offensive line that continues to be exposed a little bit. We saw Austin Jackson get beat a couple times. The 2-minute drill struggled. Tua's facing a lot of pressure. First of all, I want to know your observations on the line, what you think of the way they're struggling, really.
Yeah, I mean, you saw Dante Fowler beat Austin Jackson a couple times. You saw a 2-minute drill where Tua was under pressure. 2 of the 3 plays really that he ran, and it was a continuation of things you've seen in training camp in the first preseason game. And the bottom line is Richmond, Webb, and Larry Little aren't coming through the door. Make this work. I mean, they got work to do. There's time to do it. It's not time to press the panic button, but it is something that has to improve.
Larry Little's not coming to the door. Greg Little is. That's who they just traded for with the Carolina Panthers, sending a 7th-round pick over there. But ultimately, Dave, with the way this affects Tua, what do you think? I mean, is that difficult for a quarterback to deal with this constantly? And what do you see just in general out of his development, year 2, his training camp, and after we have one preseason game down here?
Yeah, he's made
I'm back. What's going on? All right. Now, sorry about that internet issue. Obviously, why wouldn't there be? I'm sick, and I must have given the cold to the internet provider. All right, let's get back into this. Let me hit play again. Make sure you guys can hear that. What is going on? Hold on a sec here. Let me bring that video back up for you guys. Everything went. I got that Austin Jackson internet right now. All right. Take 2 on that video. Wait for their ad to play because they got to make their money. All right. Here you go. I got it back. Let's go. So we are back. I lost like 100 viewers because of that. Thanks, internet. All right.
Training camp in the first preseason game, and the bottom line is Richmond, Webb, and Larry Little aren't coming through the door. Make this work. I mean, they got work to do. There's time to do it. It's not time to press the panic button, but it is something that has to improve.
Larry Little's not coming to the door. Greg Little is. That's who they just traded for with the Carolina Panthers, sending a 7th-round pick over there. But ultimately, Dave, with the way this affects Tua, what do you think? I mean, is that difficult for a quarterback to deal with this constantly? And what do you see just in general out of his development, year 2, his training camp, and after we have one preseason game down here?
Yeah, he's made. Bottom line is pretty much what everybody's saying. He's made progress. Ball's coming out better. He understands the offense. You saw after the 2-minute drill, he went up to Austin Jackson and had a somewhat animated conversation, spirited. It wasn't just a, hey, what are we doing for dinner conversation. So, he's become the leader as the team was handed to him. That's his job. So we'll see. Look, it's a young team from the standpoint you have a lot of second and third year players. They need to take those progressive steps that the great ones do in those years. And we're waiting to see it.
I think that's also where you see some of the leadership qualities coming out from Tua, where now he's not under Ryan Fitzpatrick's shadow. He's taking that first step forward and deciding, okay, I'm going to get in Austin Jackson's face, and I'm going to gather the offense after practice. We've seen that a little bit from him this training camp. And Dave, I also want to touch on injuries. All these wide receivers are out, but also Jalen Phillips, he comes back, so he gets back into the mix. I want you to touch up on what that brings to this team and just in general how much they are really dealing with injuries right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a story of across the NFL right now. Anybody with a nagging injury is out. There's question whether Atlanta's Mike Pitts is going to play in the game on Saturday or any games this preseason. And that's not injuries. We're talking, maintenance, a fear of injury. So that's sort of a storyline in the NFL. Tua was asked about the, 3 top receivers being out again. We're going on double-digit days, basically, and he said it's not a big concern. They're in the meeting room. I'm old school. I tend to think it's a concern. You want your quarterback throwing with these guys and being out here timing and all this stuff instead of throwing with the second and third team guys. I'd rather see him thrown with the first team guys.
Yeah. We also didn't see the Dolphins' two starting cornerbacks, Xavier Howard and Byron Jones, or Emmanuel Ogbah in that first preseason game due to rest. So now, after our 2020 preseason that was canceled and Howard has 10 interceptions, how are you going to tell him, well, he needs a preseason? So we'll continue to probably.
He'd be a guy I wouldn't worry about. Yeah. No, he can sit down. Okay, I'm not going to worry about him.
Yeah. So maybe a growing trend in the NFL. For Dave Hyde, I'm David Ferrell, Sun Sentinel.
All right, so there's their opinion on things. I see. Yeah, sorry again for the internet outage there, guys. Like, ridiculous. So okay, let's get into what Travis Wingfield and such saw today. Also, I got some stuff that I want to show from. I want to show some stuff in regards to like what Omar said, and then we'll get into the video highlights. So a ton of video highlights for us to go over. I still can't believe that internet went out, man. God damn. All right. There's 380 of you in the room. Go ahead, smash that like button. All right. Here we go. So this is everything that went down from Travis Wingfield's perspective today. All right. Jalen Waddle one-on-ones, leaves another one in the dust. Crowd goes crazy. Gaskin runs a really nice route with a stutter in the face of the backer and makes the catch. Kirk Merritt flew by Fabian Morrow, 5+ yards of separation on a deep ball. Byron Jones closes off a deep route from Juwan Green, incomplete. Eric Rowe impresses his treat to watch. He just carried his jam for a solid 3 seconds, and the pass wasn't even close to a completion. Intended target didn't even get his hands up. Lynn Bowden with a nice move to create space, but he can't finish the catch on Avery Williams. Gaskin finds a crease in the first play of team and is into the second level. Malcolm Brown is stacked up on the next play. Van Ginkel closes the backside for big collision on a run stop at the line. Ahmed greeted by a pair of Falcons defenders immediately upon taking the handoff. Gaskin gets a crease between Hunt and Davis and bounces ahead for about 4 or 5 yard gain. Brissett drives one to Robert Foster over the middle for about 15 yards. Foster, nice move at the top of the route to shake free. Patrick Laird wins the edge on an outside run, picked up a handful. Son McKinley and Matt Skura open a lane for Jared Dokes, and he's into the second level. At least a gain of 7 or 8. The Felipe Franks-led Falcons offense has put the ball on the turf twice in this period. On one failed exchange, another one was forced by Dolphins defender. One-on-ones, Dieter has a great rep with Tyler Davison. Didn't give an inch. Hunt does the same in one-on-ones, took the guy to the ground. Eichenberg then followed up with a nice one-on-one rep. Now to 7-on-7s. Gesicki just pulled in an Odell Beckham type of catch on a rifle throw from Tua. Duke Riley in perfect position to force an incompletion. Brissett, nice shot over one defender under another down the middle to Merritt. Nick Needham then picked off Felipe Franks in 7-on-7. Jerome Baker had a big shot on a receiver teed up. Obviously didn't take it, but he did force the incompletion. Tua with a dime to a wide open Salvin Ahmed in 7-on-7 for a long TD. I was hoping they would actually release that video. Even better rep from Tua this time, working through his reads. Saw him flip the hips to 3 different targets before whipping one over the middle to Malcolm Perry, who made a nice catch on a high ball. Gravon LeBlanc picked off Felipe Franks in 7-on-7, diving catch. 1-on-1, Grady Jarrett has a wicked rip move on Eichenberg. Next rep, Austin Jackson completely stonewalls a speed rush attempt. Special teams work. Sanders drops a kickoff in no man's land. Might have been a takeaway in a live period. Sanders is putting punt type of hang time on the kickoffs. Back to the team period. Ahmed runs for a short gain, and then Grady Jarrett is in for another stop. Tua drills one over the middle to Gesicki, who has a nice catch and run before first contact of around 12 yards or so. Matt Ryan threw one under pressure before the receiver even made the break. Ball met him right on time. Calvin Munson flies in for a run stuff. Patrick Laird catches a quick strike from Brissett up the sideline for a nice gain of 10 or so. It wasn't the sharpest team period for Miami offense. The entire unit is now huddled together. Falcons DB scoring some wins now in one-on-ones. On the far field, Jawan gets top of X for a long touchdown grab. Sorry, it was Calvin Ridley. My bad. Jakeem Grant had a return that had a chance to go the distance. Waddle can't squeeze the first pass in of team drills. Ahmed then quick to the hole, changes the angle of the linebacker, and he's made some big plays with yards today. Van Ginkel sets a hard edge, then works back inside for the stop. Falcons flagged twice for offsides in this team period. Next snap after Travis says that, Jacob Tuitt Marner gets a sack working on Jesse Davis. Troy Williams in good position on a deep pass attempt from A.J. McCarron. McCarron comes back with a dime over the top of Cre'Von LeBlanc to Chris Rowland for a big gain. Jakeem Grant reaches back behind his body for a tough catch on a throw from Brissett. Nick Needham drives on a ball to the sidelines for a pass breakup off of A.J. McCarron. Waddle with a diving catch, full extension off the arm of Tua. Had the crowd oohing and awing. Tua gets it out to Shaheen, who has one man to shake on the sideline, and he does it. Coleman has sticky coverage. Matt Ryan still tries, but the ball falls incomplete, throwing to the window. Coleman got pretty fired up about it. Double coverage on Shaheen. Tua throws it early, and it's right on the money. You could hear it hit Shaheen's chest plate, and the ball just stuck. 17-yard touchdown to open red zone 7-on-7. More oohs and ahs from the crowd. Isaiah Oliver has tight coverage on Gesicki. Tua tries to throw an only my receiver can get it ball, and Gesicki can't pull it down with one hand. Tua fires a strike over the middle to Hollins for a touchdown of about 10 yards. Then Matt Collins dunked it and got flagged. Xavier Howard breaks on a Matt Ryan pass over the middle and nearly grabs the interception in 7-on-7s. Dolphins defense putting the clamps on the Falcons passing game in this period. Throwaways, QB fleeing the pocket, pass breakups, and incompletes. And the thing about him fleeing the pocket, remember in 7-on-7s, there's no pass rush. The offensive line and defensive line is working on picking up games like slants, stuns, and twists. And the few reps Travis saw went well for Miami. Davison Hunt had a picture-perfect one where they rush stopped in its tracks. Pankey and Robert Jones had another. Back to team red zone drills now. Tua with the throwback to Shaheen, who was all alone for a walk-in touchdown. The ball was on the 18-yard line. Van Ginkel gets his hands on a quick pass from Ryan, incomplete. McCourty in good shape on a quick hitter over the middle. Brandon Copeland gets in for a sack, working on Austin Jackson. Tua fires between two defenders to Durham Smythe. Looks like a touchdown catch right at the goal line. Refs say it was dropped, hit the ground by Durham Smythe. Adam Pankey takes a rush around the arc and buys Brissett time to fire to Foster in the back of the end zone for a touchdown. Lining up for a one-field scrimmage type of team period. Falcons offense up first. Agba with a nice move off the edge, but Ryan gets it out to complete to Taji Sharp. Ryan completes the next two as well. The fourth is a bit high, and Javon Holland nearly gets the interception on a diving effort. Dolphins getting a lot of pressure in this period, but Matt Ryan is so adept to getting it out right before the trouble arrives. Has a completion on the latest with one in with X in coverage. Agba comes in for a probable sack. Rowan tight coverage for a pass breakup on Kyle Pitts in the corner of the end zone. 2-minute offense now. Tua to Jakeem down the middle for about 20. Hurry to the line. Next pass incomplete to Waddle. Pressure gets in around the left, but Tua flips it to Gaskin for short completion. First team offense, 2-minute drive stalled at midfield because of the Austin Jackson sack. McCarron led offense comes in and throws a touchdown on the third play. Looked like a busted coverage with a receiver running free. Brissett opens his 2-minute drive with a shot down the middle to Foster for about 20 yards. Foster was making plays today. Brissett now with a strike under pressure over the middle to Smythe, right in stride. Falcons defender punches it out, but the ball harmlessly rolls out of bounds. Brissett now with a rip of a throw to Kirk Merritt over the middle for a tough contested catch. Greg Little, working with Brissett-led offense, finishes the day with a really nice rep where he buries the rusher as Brissett steps up and delivers a touchdown to Robert Foster. Now, I want to go over what Omar Kelly had to say because he actually had some interesting things to say in regards of the offensive line. So I want to bring that up, and I want to mention a couple of the points that he said today, and then we'll get into and then we'll go ahead and we will get into the sorry, I'm just looking at something here, and then we will go ahead and we will get into the video highlights. So Omar, he highlighted Kirk Merritt today, said he had a really good practice. Khalil McLean, AJ Terrell had a nice Packers up breakup on him. Brady Jarrett whipped Robert Hunt for a tackle in the backfield of Salvin Ahmed. So that's not very good. I love how Omar gives music updates too. Falcons came to lay the wood today. Falcons defense pulled out the hit stick for today's practice. Will Flores' team match their will the team match the physicality? Team Grant fumbled at the end of the reception that he caught. Again, that Tua 45-yard long bomb for a touchdown during 7-on-7. I wish they would have shown the highlight, man. Someone said, Omar, our O-line is getting dominated. He said, nothing new, bro. Been told you. He said, everyone said those rookie offensive linemen would take a major step forward in the second season. My response, step forward to being average. Not good. Not good at all. Tua with a coverage sack. No receiver got open, and Tua holds the ball too long. Got to get rid of it. Tyshawn Render had a tackle at the line of scrimmage on a Falcons run. Mike Davis had a second-level run to the outside versus the first-team defense. Tua's weaponry of Waddle, Hollins, and Foster reminds Omar of last year's wide receiver group to end the season. Not very good. It is sack city for the Falcons defense today, and here I was thinking the Bears would be the best defensive line Miami faces this preseason. The Falcons are eating. And then he says, I think the Falcons might be on double digit sacks today. So, I mean, not good, man. Austin Jackson did the classic slapping of his hands after he gets beat with tandem work. Solomon Ginley had a good block in tandem work with Falcons defender. Tried to bull rush him. He then followed up with a whiff on a tandem block. Now, he had something interesting where he said here on his tweets, and it was about Austin Jackson. So, Tua is talking to Austin Jackson on the sidelines, and it doesn't look like a pleasant conversation. All right. I want to show you guys the clip of Tua Tagovailoa and what he said today about his talk with Austin Jackson. All right. There you go.
It's just communicating. Just, hey, how are you feeling in the back there? You know, and then for me, you know, just kind of talking to those guys about, you know, what I'm feeling and what I'm seeing as far as pressure and, you know, just communicating that to them. So, you know, they don't see everything. All they see is the guy that they're blocking.
All right. Now, another thing that Omar said today too, that, you know, he gave to some serious props here. And I want to read it to you guys. So in regards to what Tua said today, you know, he said, folks, Tua is a leader. That's his line. He takes ownership. So, you know, he's showing you right there that Tua has taken on the leadership role, which we already knew was happening, right? That's nothing new to us. So, it's good to see Tua just stepping up, being that franchise quarterback. You know what I mean? So, all right, let's get into the video highlights for today. We got a ton to go over. All right. All right. Now, I am going to start. Obviously, here's Brendan Scarlett working on his hands, his release off the line and staying square. Just simple, working on his punches there a little bit, right? Nothing too crazy. I'm going to save all the passing stuff for after we get through the simple drills. All right. Here's Gaskin, Ahmed, Scarlett, Laird, Gasecki, Myrick, and Smythe working on their feet and their hand-eye coordination at the same time. Continuing on with more videos. Oh, it's going to get good. It is going to get good. Don't you worry. Here's Khalil McLean just catching a pass in warmups from Jacoby Brissett. As you know, we added Khalil McLean the same day Alan Hearns was put on the IR, right? Nothing too fancy there. Here's Greg Little wearing 75 and the offensive lineman doing a little bit of stuff before. So just the offensive line warming up, right? Just working with pads with each other and such. All right, continuing on. Here is the Dolphins. Here's Tyshawn Render working with the second team linebackers because they're so low on linebackers right now due to injuries. Van Ginkel, obviously, that first guy up. And they got Tyshawn Render working in there too. Jalen Phillips was just there. Just handling the tackling machines. But, I mean, they're so depleted a linebacker that, look at, here's Tyshawn Render getting work right here. A lot of injuries this preseason. A lot of injuries. All right. Here's Seiler. I showed you that Brendan Scarlett drill earlier. Here's Zach Seiler doing the same exact drill. All right. Now let's get into the good stuff. All right. Oh, sorry, my bad. I lied. One more. Duke Riley and Kylan Johnson working the tackle machine for you guys to see. Sled, really. All right. Now let's get into the good stuff. All right. I'm gonna leave the Jalen Waddle stuff for the end. All right. Here is Xavier Howard breaking up like just saying absolutely not in my house. Good coverage by X. Nice and tight. Did not fall for the cutback at all. Love it. Didn't fall for the step to the outside and come in. He read it the whole way and made the play. Good stuff by Xavier Howard. Here's Byron Jones showing he's all business today, making a play and one-on-ones. So I'm pretty sure that was Calvin Ridley, I want to say. If you look at it, Calvin beat him, right? He beat him right there. He's stacking him. He stacked him. But then he came back. He had the comeback route, so he had to come back for the football. And Byron was not having that, and it allowed Byron to get back into the play. But he stacks him, like right there, right? If it was a fly route, he's gone. He stacked them, though. So Byron gets stacked today. Here is Calvin Ridley against Xavier Howard, and it ain't pretty for Xavier. Look at how quickly he stacks Xavier Howard on the with outside leverage. Gone. Calvin Ridley is a monster. Jeez. Look at him. Just step to the outside and he's gone. Just stacks him. It's over. Not pretty. You don't see X get work like that very often at all. Here's Kyle Pitts with a big play. I think this is on Eric Rowe. So that deep out route. Inside leverage, then cuts in to the sideline, and he's gone. But if you notice, watch, he gets inside leverage off the snap right there, makes his cut towards the sideline, worked through him, and easy catch for Kyle Pitts. Kid's going to be special. Where you at, Clump? All right, this is the one I don't think anyone's seen. Not a lot of people have seen. Hayden Hurst on Javon Holland, and Hayden gives him the work. Nice catch, man. Went up and got that right over the fingertips of Javon Holland, who stayed with the route pretty well, man. It's just a nice throw right over top of the outstretched hand of Javon Holland. But Javon did really well to mirror the in route or the dig route, whatever you want to call it. So good stuff by Javon Holland, even though he got beat. That's one you got to take. Javon Holland did a very good job there mirroring the route. So you can't really say anything bad about him, right? Here's Mike Gesicki with a nice catch. Good catch. Looked like an out and up. Low where only he can catch it. Good catch. One-on-ones. Just muscled them outside. So good play by Gesicki. Now let's get to I don't know who threw that back. Let's get to the Jalen Waddle stuff, because Jalen was out here breaking freaking ankles. Okay. First, here's the first viral video of Jalen Waddle that went today. I mean, look at him just leave the ankles there. Look at him just leave the ankles there. One more time. Like, tells him to the outside, gone. Like, what almost like a whip route. Oh, all day. Almost like, it was basically almost like a whip route, right? Nice play by Jalen. By Jalen Waddle. Okay, now the last one that we have here is Let's see this. Hold on. Just looking at something here quickly. All right. All right. All right. So here is Jalen Waddle again taking ankles and taking names, shaking and baking. Ankles are breaking. Whoop! Look at the strength to fight through that and come back and get the ball, and then the cut. Look at that. Fights off the press. Bit of a hold. Whips him around, catches it, cuts back, and he's gone. Nice play by Jalen Waddle. Whoop. Look at that. Beautiful, man. Runs the comeback. There he is. Boom. And he's up there, man. What a play by Jalen Waddle, man. So yeah, that was all the video clips for today. And I believe that was not AJ Terrell. That was on what's his face? I'll tell you right now. Hold on. That was on unless someone says in the comments. No, it was not on AJ Terrell. It was on it was on who was it on? It wasn't on AJ Terrell. It was on, I think it was on Darren Hall. Yeah, it was on Darren Hall. That's who that was on. It was on Darren Hall. It's a rookie. All right. Let's go ahead and let's drop that link for you guys to come up here and we could talk. Go ahead, smash that like button, man. What up, Jazza? How you doing, bro? Again, sorry for the internet earlier, guys. And I will have some exclusive info for Patreons. I'll be adding some insider info tidbits for you guys tonight. Just a couple bullet points for you guys that I thought was interesting that I that was passed off to me in conversation today. All right. Florida born, what's going on, buddy?
Nothing much, bro. But I just got on here because there's some fool in the comments talking crap because I was telling people to smash the like button, and another mod had blocked him, and he's in the comments bitching about it. So I just wanted to clear that up.
Oh yeah, that's whatever. I don't care. I'm not waste my time with that guy. I saw him like telling me to read his previous comment. I got other things to do. Cash, what's going on, buddy? How you doing?
Hey, what's going on, brother?
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm hanging in, man, hanging in, enjoying the content. Not knuckleheads in the comments. They make it interesting, though.
There you go. Dylan, what's going on, man?
What's going on? Yeah, I don't care nothing about that. How you feeling, man? You feeling all right?
I'm sick as shit.
You sound like Darth Vader earlier, man.
Hydrate and stuff like that. Keep them fluids in you. Get better.
Garrett, a mod gives you can like time people out. You can basically cancel people. You know what I mean? It gives you the right to cancel people.
It's fucking cancel culture built in, bro.
You know what I mean? No, Chase, I do not have COVID. I have a cold.
A cold.
Yeah.
And even if I had COVID, I'd still have to come up here. So that wouldn't be a pretty sight.
I mean, but at least you do something where like your work is at home, though. You don't have to go out spreading to other people. Fucking, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
You do your work at the crib.
Look at Florida born with your
That's for
Jim
that's for
Carrey
Kirk
in
Merritt.
Living Color.
Jim Carrey, right? Yeah.
In Living
That's for
Color.
Kirk Merritt.
I
Captain
love
Kirk.
that. That's
Captain
hilarious, man.
Captain Kirk.
Wow.
So what did you guys think about? Because I wasn't able to bring you guys up.
Yesterday with Little.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm tired of them settling. They're putting a Band-Aid over a gaping wound, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, you know, I made my video on my channel before like you did your show, so like I didn't even get to see the highlights and or lowlights, the stuff you put out until later, but like, and I was kind of easy on it too. I was like, you know, I'm not really psyched about it basically, but it just because it seems like another bargain bin kind of thing that they're doing, and like but it's clear, bro, like they just don't take this offensive line seriously enough.
No, not at all. And
Not
it's
even
crazy.
close.
It's crazy because Reason had said something at the beginning of the season about Greg Little. Like, I remember you saying something about him being garbage because, like, all the tackles that were at the time we could get, and he called that shit, bro.
I've been on a couple of different panels already.
Hey, Reason, can you hear me?
I pretty much catch all of the shows, and the offensive line is a concern. It's such a glaring concern. It makes me queasy.
We got Philbin in here.
Like Philbin. Yeah. It makes me queasy.
I feel you, dude.
But I think there's a light at the end of the tunnel because Greer and Flores has done such other, great things. Like we're only down to me, right? We're only down to the offensive line and the running back to settle, right? I think we got plenty of options in the wide receiver group. The defensive set, tight ends are looking good, right? The only thing we're missing, right, is a right tackle, a center, and a running back. And I think once we can figure that out,
the big problem
in business.
The big problem though is the urgency of this year, right?
That's what's so scary.
And then also too, you add in the factor of like, okay, let's say, God forbid, knock on wood, things don't go according to plan. Well, then, Xavier Howard is a year older, right? And you're a year further through Tua's rookie contract and all these things,
I've
right?
Talked about that before too.
Yeah, so I mean that's the thing is this is and I don't remember which article it was that you read, but somebody had said it's like they're in a lab, right? Like they're just throwing shit together and seeing what happens. And this is not the year for that. This is not the year for that, right? Like that was 2 years ago, maybe last year, but this is not the year for that because of the expectation for the season, right? And look, okay, so even if you think, and I hope this is the case, right? Like I hope they get it together at some point, but if it takes them 6 games, that could be enough to not make the playoffs.
Yeah.
If they
absolutely
fuck the first, whatever, if they screw the first part of the season, that could be enough to not make the playoffs. And that's a big deal for this
because
team.
10-6 last year in normal years would have been good enough to make the playoffs. So the margin of error is so small.
And it wasn't last year, even with the expanded playoff field, right?
Right.
So,
see, here's my issue. Special teams is ready. The defense is ready.
Yes.
The receiver room is ready. The running back room is competent enough. The quarterback's ready. But we are missing, I'll say it, we are missing a competent, consistent left tackle. We are Jesse Davis. You do not want him playing 17 games at right tackle. And if you fix those 2 tackle spots, you'll be a lot better situated because, hey, if we're going to make a deep run, you need top 15 offensive line. We're not going to make a deep run if these guys are like top 25, which
But
I mean,
do we expect
Agreed.
them to do anything? I mean, look, because their answer, right? Like
That has
for
to
at
be the
least,
expectation. Look at the capital, the time, the investments we put in.
well, sure.
3 years worth.
But
no,
what
you
are
know what
they-
your
what are
problem.
they
You know what
gonna
the
do at
problem
this
you're running
point,
into
though?
right now is ego. They don't want to
Yeah.
admit they were wrong. They don't want to
Damn,
admit
that's
that they
Absolutely.
screwed up.
That's
That's what
true.
I had a conversation today with someone and close to the team and some of the players on the team, and that's what I was told. It's all about ego. No one wants to put their hand up in the room and say, "Hey, we invested resources, but some of those resources we invested, we didn't make the right selection with them." Like that's why Austin Jackson is still continuing to get looks at left tackle when clearly he's not the answer. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it's an ego thing. They don't want to come off and say, you know, "Oh, we screwed up."
or admit that they can't, that they don't have the prowess to then make them into an elite player, even though they screwed up, right?
How about this take? How about they didn't even expect this turnaround to be so quick?
well,
right?
that's ridiculous though, because that's
No?
yeah. Well, if they expected that, if that was their expectation, they're fools, because that is literally the point. And I've said this a bunch of times. That is literally the point of tanking. That was the whole reason, is so you can have a quick turnaround. You tear down super quick. You gain this treasure trove of resources, so you can turn it around fast,
Oof.
right? And when
Yeah.
even that first
Reason.
press conference after,
You don't think
hold on,
we're ahead of
that first
schedule?
press conference after Adam Gase was fired.
Well, we're year three in
Steven-
his. We're
Yes.
year three
This
in
is
his
the year three.
Right.
in his 5-year. So
Yeah.
I mean, I don't
think
know if
we're
you can use.
way ahead of schedule.
Okay,
We
so
were
what-
sniffing the
what-
Yeah,
playoffs
but look
last
at
year.
it. Buffalo
hold on,
was
hold on
in
a
year
sec,
3,
hold
and
on a
look
sec.
at that turnaround.
So what? You're expecting this guy to not be in this stage by year 5?
Are you
This is
asking me the
right.
question?
Yeah. Because Flores has a 5-year deal.
Yeah.
So we're going into year 3 of that 5-year deal. Like
And
Well,
we're
time to,
expecting
it's time to
playoffs.
show up.
Stephen
You've had
Ross-
2 years.
Yeah.
The issue is you've had 2 years, okay, already
Right.
to get your team situated. In those 2 years, right, just first round picks alone, we've had 5 first round picks.
Yep.
All right.
Mm.
I'm not including the offseason where he came here with Christian Wilkins. I'm talking about last year and this year. If you want to include that, then we're at 6. Okay. So technically this is his 3rd offseason, right?
Right.
So
Yes.
you've had 6 first round picks if you want to include the Wilkins pick. All right.
Good first rounds.
He was part of
Last
that.
year in the offseason, we spent over $250 million.
Don't remind me.
Right? Over 130 million of that is already out the door. All right. So you've had the financial and you've had the draft capital. And the draft capital we've had over the last 2 years is unprecedented. Okay. Like
Yes.
the only other teams that get that are like the Browns when they drafted Trent Richardson and Brandon Wheaton in the same draft. And we all know how that worked out. So-
Not well.
So, like, you have had unprecedented draft capital. You've had financial capital at your whim to spend because Ross just opens up the checkbook.
And they blew through it.
And so, yeah, like, and you know what? After the money they spent on Byron Jones and everything, getting their secondary ready and their defense in the image you wanted to, that we should be sniffing the playoffs. And the issue that you're coming in with the offensive line is the selections haven't been that great in terms of Austin Jackson. And I mean, we haven't seen the kid play, but Liam Eichenberg, Dieter took 3 years to develop, 3 off seasons to get to where he is right now. And now you're running into a problem where we don't have time is not on the side of the defense they put together. They lopped 2 years off of Ogba's contract, so he only has this season.
Even
Byron
wide
Jones
receiver.
and X are getting closer to 30. Okay.
Right, 1 year older.
You know what I mean? Sorry, Bernard
Bernard
McKinney,
McKinney.
they lost the thing on.
Yeah.
Ogba, he needs to get paid now.
Yeah.
All right? Like, all of these issues are, we have like a 3-year window. And it might even be like 2 years, really.
I think we got 2
realistically
years.
here.
Yeah. I think we
With
got
with
2 years.
with some
to
of these
make
defensive
moves.
pieces, man. And then you look at Will Fuller's on a 1-year deal. Devontae Parker, it's basically put up or shut up or you're gone.
Yeah, he's
Right?
done after this
Like-
year.
Albert
like,
Wilson might
this,
not be here.
This is the whole issue that you have that they've kind of boxed themselves into a corner where
This is
you
the
got
year.
you got to win. Like results need to be put out ASAP, and we don't have time. The issue is we don't have time for this offensive line to take its sweet ass time to come together. And the other problem is, listen, think of it. We've been through 4 offensive line coaches in 3 years. You got the guy they fired after a couple weeks. And why did they fire him? I was told they fired him because he told the coaching staff in Dieter's rookie year he's not ready.
Yeah,
they fired
he didn't want to
his
play
ass.
the rookies.
He
didn't want to play rookies.
Dieter was the specific reason why they fired him. Okay? Yeah. They fired him, and he was right. All right? Dieter in year 1 was a disaster. Okay, then they got a new offensive line coach. Then Chan Gailey brought in his own offensive line coach. Now they promoted Lamel Jean-Pierre. And the problem is you've got a constant carousel, and no one is getting coached up properly because all these guys have different philosophies, different fundamental systems, different ways of coaching. And with a guy like Austin Jackson, who his issues that I saw on tape at USC, which made him my OT 10 and had me have a late second, early third round grade on him, which so far, I don't even know if we've got that out of him. But, okay, he now didn't clean up his stuff last year. Now he's got to go through with a whole new coach and try and clean up his stuff again, and it's not getting cleaned up.
Yep. 5 OCs to this point, right? Different playbooks, right? Yeah, and one thing I was going to say before, Stephen Ross said, back when he was making the regime shift, he's like, I hope it doesn't take 1, 2, or 3 years to get, to where we want, but we're trying to build a long-term sustainable thing. So when I heard that, what I took from that was, especially knowing the fact that 2019 was a tanking year, intentionally trying to have a high draft pick so they could get their quarterback in 2020. What I took from that is he's going to give these guys 3 years to figure it out and get us to the playoffs. That's what I took. Maybe I'm wrong in my reading of how, but I think, Stephen Ross's comments even more recently just back that up. So we'll see, man.
You got the offensive coordinator position's been a carousel, and people are saying you're overreacting. Or someone in the comments just said we're overreacting. How are we overreacting? We're calling exactly what it is right now. Okay. If this offensive line gets to a hurt or holds this team back from achieving what they can achieve, I don't want to hear all of you that say we're overreacting and let them take time. I don't want to hear no bitching from none of you, because all I'm doing is getting ahead of the curve and telling you exactly what's going on. And listen,
what's going to happen.
The real question is, and Patreons would know this because I said it in one of my X reports, with the veterans on the team, okay? I'm giving y'all some information right here, okay? Take it how you want to take it. Some Patreons have seen it. You guys haven't heard this yet. All right. And I'm saying this because this is over 2 weeks old from the Patreon. Okay, the thing with Brian Flores is, before the X deal was done, there's a belief from the veterans in the locker room that Flores works better with the guys on rookie contracts that are impressionable, coachable, yes sir type of guys, because they're on the rookie contracts. Once guys balls drop and they learn that it's a business and they learn everything that's going on, Flores gets a little bit more standoffish with them. The same thing, and that's why it was good faith that they got that X thing done. But I was also told, until they saw what they had out there, they were not going to pay X.
They were not. Exactly.
They were not going to pay X. And then what they saw made them pay X. But anyways, this same philosophy goes over with the head coach. With the coaching staff. Why do you think we had to promote coordinators from within, and Matt Canada and LaFleur and all these guys, the Clemson offensive coordinator? None of these guys wanted to come here, okay? Then the offensive line. Why do you think he didn't go out and get a guy like Bill Callahan, and he instead promoted our assistant offensive line coach last year? And again, our assistant offensive line coach last year, he's going to have a different philosophy and different coaching techniques than what our offensive line coach was last year, because the offensive line coach last year was a Gala guy. Lamel Jean-Pierre was not a Gala guy. That was a Flores selection, okay? So continuing on here, this is why I think Flores, I've said this to you guys before, Flores
Control
wants everyone
freak.
to know that he's the alpha.
He's in
Yeah.
charge.
The issue with bringing in a
hits.
guy like Bill
Been saying it
Callahan,
since 2019,
Jim
man.
Caldwell, our first offensive coordinator
He's-
who left, and then a couple months later, because of health reasons, he left, said, I want to come back to coach. Notice we didn't open the door back up for him, and instead he
Nope.
brought Shadow Shea over from New England because that was a guy he knew was underneath him. The problem is I don't know whether Flores feels threatened by other alpha veteran head coaches or not, but there's definitely something there
Or
going on
players.
right now.
He even
Yeah,
does it
facts.
subtly in practice. You hear some of the certain songs, right? You've heard about his playlist, right? When it
Yeah.
comes to certain players.
Started with
that
Kenny
might
Stills.
be-
Remember he did it to Kenny Stills.
Exactly.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So there's
That's why
certain
I
things
said,
that
man,
he
back in
does to
2019.
flex to let everybody know, like the buck stops here. Which again kind of lends me to the thought that Greer and Flores, while they are united, when it really comes to certain players or who is supposed to get signed or drafted, I don't think they're on the same page. I really don't.
Tua.
I think they take turns. That is just my thing. Like, all right, like I want this guy, you pick that guy. Well, I have to have this guy. You really like, all right, you can have this one, but I
Wait
don't
till you
want this
see.
guy.
Wait till you
It's a
see
mess,
wait
dude.
till you see the point I put on Tua when I'm done the show tonight on the Patreon with some insider info tidbits. Wait till you see the tidbit that's going to be on Tua and his family with Flores. It's going to make people.
I can't wait.
Oh
I
man,
can't fucking
and
wait.
he's
But
finally
dude-
standing up, and Tua's finally standing up, and I feel like
And that's
with what
good,
you're
but-
saying,
Hey,
with
yo,
what
you know
you're
what's- you know
pointing
what's-
out,
you know
I
what's-
feel
you know
like
what's
he's
funny?
gonna hate that, bro.
All these
He
people
is. Flores is gonna hate it.
who gobble Flores and everything like that.
Slurp.
Let's see him put up 3 or 4 or 5 wins
Stop it, no.
on the board this year, and let's see all of y'all will change in an absolute instant on his ass.
Yeah,
Oh,
and you guys brought up Greer too, and I don't know if this is true. One of the beat writers wrote a report, but maybe Greer finally learned his lesson about the Isaiah Wilson thing, because supposedly the 7th round pick for Greg Little was a conditional, and I don't know if that's true, but if that is, what
It
is the
is.
condition?
Well, it's
So
it's
what's the
it's
condition?
I don't recall, but it's the conditional 7th round pick that we got in addition to Isaiah Wilson. Remember, because then we gave up a 2021 7th round pick, and then we got Isaiah Wilson and a 2022 conditional 7th round pick. So it's the conditional 7th round pick from.
Okay, I
Tennessee.
thought they put a condition
Tennessee.
on whether Greg Little was going to make the team. That's where maybe I was confused. Okay.
It's probably snaps.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would actually think,
So those are
playing
performance-based
time,
conditions, right?
I would think it's
Probably.
performance-based, because you're not going to trade
Or
for
playing
somebody
time.
that might not necessarily make the team, and that be a
Right.
stipulation
Gotta be
of the
performance.
trade.
Well, that's what I was
Yeah.
saying. Hopefully he learned from the Isaiah Wilson thing and said, look, we're going to make this conditional. He at least got to play for
Well,
us.
This
that's
this
the
little
thing
shit.
Go.
This little shit blows my mind though, y'all. We literally got rid of Fluker and picked up Little. Like Fluker, I was way more optimistic about Fluker, and now we got Little, who I feel like Reason said, Larnell Coleman is better than Little, bro.
I mean,
Like,
those plays you showed of him were just so
Oh.
bad, bro.
Tim Tebow, he looked like Tim Tebow, bro. Literally, literally.
I mean, like, yeah. So
Well-
that's like, yeah.
Look like Tarzan, play like Jane.
Well, one thing I gotta say that I believe in is
Dumpster fire.
how we develop players. You know what I mean? So, because we have Nick Needhams, we have Preston Williams. He can't stay healthy, right? But we've developed, right? We
There's
were
a
able
handful
to.
of them, yeah. But I mean,
Yeah.
they've also missed and misdeveloped a lot of players. I mean,
Yes.
there's even several players that so many players on the list that they've just they've brought in and haven't even given an opportunity to develop because
You-
they'll
you
just
know
cut
what
them right
happens?
away.
You know where we
You
hit?
know what
It's on the
happens when something's
defensive side.
50-50? You always give it a chance. When something's 50-50, you give it a chance. Unless it's just flat out, absolutely like no way. Because I didn't hear anybody saying we should not have done the Wilson trade.
But
I
what
said
kills
that.
us, though,
I
what
said
kills
that,
us,
but
Right,
what
right.
kills us,
Nobody was
though,
like,
is
"Oh, what the fuck are we doing?" Everybody was like, "Oh, hell yeah! If this shit works out, oh my god, oh, we're gonna be in it."
I don't know. I
Right?
wasn't thrilled, but I'm also a hater, so it is what it is.
but what kills me is we can't develop, third, fourth round guys, but we can make these sixth, seventh round guys work. And it's
Or
like,
first rounders.
what the
I mean,
hell?
so far, look, Tua looks like he's gonna be fine, and I've said I don't have or I don't have an issue with him. Like I think he's gonna do his part, and it's mostly the offensive line. But like Christian Wilkins still leaves a lot left to be desired, and
Desired, absolutely.
Jalen Waddle is great, and I hope that he does become great. And if he puts up a good season and has a good career, then
I'm
obviously
watching.
that pick will look fine. But he will still always be compared to Penei
Panay,
Sewell and
Pitts.
whatever too. So there's that, which is unfortunate. Especially if this offensive line does prove to be, an Achilles heel,
Well,
which it very well could be.
it's starting off bad. I mean, I can say that. So I hope, again, at least my thought in the philosophy is that it's a pass to run thought that they're going to try to put on the field,
I don't think
which
it's
is
gonna work
why
like they hope, though.
I hope it does. I'm a Dolphin fan.
I hope it does too.
I hope it works. But
I
I
just don't
definitely
get
think
what I
that
want
that's
very
the
often.
route.
So.
I mean, who does? Except
Yeah.
Flores.
Yeah,
I don't understand where they're thinking is put Liam at left guard instead of left tackle. Like we all know Liam is not gonna be a guard. Like, where is their thinking at? I don't understand their thinking a lot of times, bro.
Well,
Their
we drafted a
refusal to admit
fullback,
that they
so
whiffed on him. They want to
Yeah,
try to shove him in there somewhere to say, look, we didn't waste that pick.
yeah, you're
well,
right. That makes more
that's
sense.
not that can't make sense because you sticking him there shows that you wasted the pick. You see what I mean? So
Hold on
you're
a
trying
second,
to
hold on a
make the
second.
best of a
Irving,
pick. You waste-
hold on a sec. Irving, no one's bashing the team. We're telling it what it is.
Yeah.
Do you know how easily last year could have went the other way? The defense, if that defense wasn't historical at certain points and X didn't have the season he did, we might not even have won 10 games last year, bro. Stop.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying I get what you're saying because, yes, they drafted him to be the right tackle. But if they can still try to save face and say, look, he's still a starting offensive lineman, that's where I think they're trying to save face.
Here's the thing. You can lie to people and they will distrust their own eyes, right? Like there's so many people out there that you can tell them it's all fine, and even though they see it with their own eyes, they just won't believe it. So,
Yeah.
but on the other hand, though, if he comes out and says, yeah, we whiffed on this guy and we reached on him, that's verbal confirmation from the man himself, right? That's the difference. He can put him out there and be like, well, he's still our starting left tackle, and he might suck, and a lot of people will see it, but they won't believe it because Flores is like, well, he's still our starting left tackle, so he must be fine, right? Like, so I get what you're saying, that it does expose him, but not to everybody, right? Like it would expose the pick as being a whiff to people like us who have the cognitive ability. Yes, I'm calling a lot of people out there stupid. The cognitive ability to be able to recognize that and not just follow the words that the people in power are saying,
and
like
there
it's gospel.
is nothing wrong with being objective. There's nothing wrong with being objective. This is to people in the chat. There's nothing wrong with being objective and talking about your team, right? Because think about the Kansas City Chiefs, right? Everyone would kill to be the Kansas City Chiefs, but they got smashed in the Super Bowl because their O-line is not right. So that's all we're talking
and what
about.
they do.
They basically had three missing offensive linemen, basically.
Yeah,
but Kansas City went and fixed it, though.
And what did they
That's
do this
the worst
offseason?
part.
They went through hell and high water this offseason to fix the O-line.
Exactly, and yet we're still kicking around.
Look, I when I was in the Navy, I was on a submarine, okay? And to me, what I think of is like, we got holes in the ship and we're leaking. We got water coming in, bro. And all they're doing is they're just running up and like putting bubble gum over the hole like it's gonna do something.
Oh shit.
Right?
Seventh round trade picks.
Yeah.
That's not good for a big can underneath the water.
That guy, Greg Little, there's a probability that they would get cut, or that he would get cut by the Panthers just outright. They decided, okay, sure, it's a conditional 7th round pick, sure, but they decided to go ahead and give draft capital to go get a guy they
That's a good
could
point.
potentially get after he gets cut. On the other hand, why do you think nobody was taking the bait for Jakeem Grant? Because they know the Dolphins might likely cut him. So why would they trade away draft capital for a player that they could get after we cut him? Right?
Because there's 3 reasons why you cut a player, right? They don't want to be there, you can't afford them, or they suck. That's it. Those are the only 3 reasons why you trade a player. You can't.
I think the
afford them.
only reason anyone would want to trade something for Grant is if they're afraid that, well, no, he can't. He doesn't have to go through the waiver wire, does he?
Yeah, he does.
I mean, every player does.
Okay, well, I didn't think every. I thought that if they're not on their rookie contract, they don't have to. But anyway, my whole thing is that's the only reason I could see anybody would trade for him is if they're afraid somebody else is going to pick him up on the waiver wire.
No,
but
see,
again,
I think
have so many picks. What's a 7th round pick to us? You see what I'm saying? But that's a tell, right? Us moving Liam to guard is a tell that it's not right. Us trading, for Isaiah Wilson and now Little and bringing in Fluker after the fact, right, is a tell. Myself, personally, I went to a practice myself, and I seen what the O-line did. They're okay with pass protection, trash with running the ball. And here they are still drafting for O-linemen.
And what do you think we're going to be doing this next
in the second
offseason?
round and beyond?
Looking for
This is my whole point. I don't care if you have to overpay. Overpay, go get proven commodities at the tackle position, and
be done with it.
Call it a day.
Be done.
Yes, sir.
Especially, especially because you have to understand the context with which you operate, and going back to the importance of this year, because that, again, man, and I know people don't like to hear this, but there is a very real possibility that if expectations are not met, there will be significant changes within this organization. In other words, Chris Grier and or Brian Flores could be fired. If that happens, then that means you're essentially hitting the reset button again, and you're stepping backwards, because then you have
this. Hold on.
Okay,
hold on. I got something. No, because I can nail that right now.
Boom.
Pats Nation. Tua can't throw good unless his receivers get college separation.
Hold
on. So answer me this, you fucking idiot.
I love it.
You got to be an idiot to be a Pats fan, and let's be honest, you only became a Pats fan after they started winning. You weren't there when they were losing. But anyways, you fucking moron. Why did Tua have the highest completion percentage of tight window throws last year? And why did Tua have the 3rd highest aggressive throw rate, which means aggressive throw rate, because you're dumb already, so you probably don't even know what that means, so I'll give you the definition. That aggressive throw rate is throws with under a yard of separation by the receiver. Answer me that, you fucking clown. All right? And okay, number 2, with the Grier and Flores thing, I've already told this is very simple to fix. And some fans aren't going to like it, but it is what it is. If you have to fire, if it gets to the point where you got to say, you know what, I'm gone, Flores, you're gone, Flores, you hire Nick Saban. And the reason why you hire Nick Saban is he knows the quarterback better than anyone, and he runs the same type of defense, so you don't have to change up the personnel. The problem you're going to have is you got to find a coach that runs a 3-4 base, and you have to find a coach that can fix the offensive line and can study and get the offense playing to his strength. Now, I know Dolphin fans still have a lot of it. Well, Sark just signed that big money. He's probably not leaving right now, right?
They will have to offer him the universe.
The thing is, do you really though?
Yeah, they have to offer Saban the universe.
What does Nick Saban have to do? What does he have left to do in his career right now?
That's a good point.
Well,
that is,
he wants to win 10 titles.
Nick Saban has nothing left to do in the
collegiate
SEC
level. Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, so you think he want to just come win Super Bowls? I guess.
Pete Carroll won at the collegiate level and then said, you know what? My first go around wasn't good enough in the NFL. I'm going to go back. And the reason why I say this is Stephen Ross and Chris Grier are good buddies with him.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
That's
But
that's
also,
the other
That'll help.
That's how
I guess
that's how
that'll help.
Greer could save his ass. Now
Hey,
that
Yeah,
would be my first
could see that.
suggestion on how you if and this is all if you're moving off Flores, because
If
I don't
yes,
think
yeah.
they move off Flores this year unless you win like 2 or 3 games.
Oh yeah, it'll have to be a total
now,
fake
was
job.
there any truth
Hey.
to the rumors that Saban was similar to what you guys are saying a little bit with Flores? Is he didn't so much like the vets and stuff because he was used to, again, having young impressionable kids versus playing, with adults who knew the business.
I never heard that about Saban. What I heard about Saban was he wanted full say.
Personnel control, yeah, like the
Breeze
GM
thing.
and all that stuff. Yeah, he wanted full personnel control.
I tell you what, though, a lot of Dolphin fans will forgive him quick with winning.
Winning changes
Oh,
everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
but
that-
the only,
Or you go to Mike Lowry's right, or you go to Buffalo and you hire Dabble
the only
because he was the offensive coordinator at Alabama.
I mean, whatever.
Okay,
The
yeah.
the thing about that though is if something like that were to happen, then that at the very least that kind of delays your progress because you still have to bring it. You're still bringing in like a new staff. They got to get their culture set, right, et cetera, et cetera. So I mean, it's not something that we want to see have to happen, right? Because this in the same way that we're talking about continuity with the offensive coordinator and the O-line coach and stuff like that, right? And not having it, that's the same. Then you're introducing a new head coach and a new coaching staff yet again, and it doesn't allow for some of that continuity potentially. So,
But Dylan, the learning
but
curve
there's
will
already-
be short with Alabama's organization. The learning
No,
curve
But
will
I'm
be much
saying,
shorter.
we've already got look at how many we already have Alabama pieces on this team.
and that
On
that
the
would
team,
make
yeah.
and that would definitely make a lot of sense and help to ease that potential issue unquestionably.
And I
will
trust. Here's the thing. I'm gonna tell you right now what Brian Flores is, and Brian Flores is an overglorified defensive coordinator right now.
Man, I've been thinking the same shit.
Okay,
He's gonna
and
be here for
and
5
no
years,
one
though.
no one can argue me that. No one can argue me
Yeah.
that. You know
He's
why?
basically Rex Ryan.
He can't get the offensive coordinator position right. He can't get the offensive line right, and he can't get positional coaches on the offense right. You
God,
can
okay.
literally not
He
even
definitely got
argue that right
defense
now. He has not shown anything on the offensive side of the football to make you say otherwise right now.
And
But
on top
he's
of that, I think it
damn
was
good with the
very
defense,
telling.
though.
He's outstanding.
Yeah,
on that
I
side.
think it's also telling that they hired what's his name to come in and be, not only the offensive coordinator, or not the offensive coordinator, but
Charlie
the,
Fry.
No. Before the whole Chan Gailey
O'Shea?
thing, what was his name?
Chad O'Shea.
Chad O'Shea.
No. The one guy that was coming in as like a counselor kind of person. What do they call him?
Oh, the guy from the Colts.
Oh,
He left 'cause he was sick.
man. Oh,
He
man.
left 'cause he was
I know
sick.
who you're talking about. Yeah, he got sick and left, right?
That was Jim
Yeah.
Caldwell. That was Jim Caldwell.
Jim
Caldwell.
Yeah,
Boom.
Caldwell.
That's it.
That was a tell too. Is that was an extra guy to have extra eyes on the offense because he
No, he's
wasn't.
supposed to be the
That's
offensive
not his
coordinator.
specialty.
He was supposed to be the offensive coordinator, dude.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
he got sick.
Okay.
Yeah.
And another thing, I go back to my whole. Why did we not
Whoa.
bring him back when he said I'm willing to
I
come?
was just
I'm
about to
willing
say
to
that.
because
Why
here's
he
the
ain't come
thing.
back?
As a coordinator, he's been to the Super Bowl, and as a head coach, he's been to the Super Bowl.
Man.
And was it the Jet? Who was it? The Jets. The Jets had him, and they fired him for Gase, right? I'm
No,
pretty
yeah.
sure.
You're talking about Tim Bowens.
No,
Not
he
Bowens,
was at the
yeah.
Lions. Yeah, Tim.
Yeah, I was gonna
the
say-
Lions.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
Lions.
yeah.
He was with the Lions. My bad. And they fired him for what's his face?
Campbell.
Patricia.
Oh,
Yeah,
Patricia.
yeah.
And Caldwell had taken them to the playoffs.
Right, like 2 seasons in a row.
Dude,
Yeah,
that's no
And they
joke.
fired him for Patricia.
And Matt Patricia, look how he did. Another
Lead the-
Belichick disciple.
Well,
Yay.
I can say this. I mean, Flores is not perfect. I think from what I've seen from the last 3 years has given me enough rope for him, you know what I mean, to see it through. Are there things that are just not smelling good? You know what I mean? There are a lot of fishy things, you know what I mean? But I think there are more good things than bad. Because looking at the team overall under Flores's watch, under Greer's watch, we are just down to the O-line getting fixed, right? All of the holes are plugged. This team is very similar to like a Tampa Bay kind of situation, where everything is right, except that one thing, right? And the one thing, at least for them,
that's the biggest thing.
The one thing for them was the quarterback, right? The biggest thing for us is if we get a nice piece here or there.
But we don't have the margin for error. Like, I mean, even when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers brought Tom Brady in, sure, I'm sure 100% Tampa fans were like, yeah, we're going to the Super Bowl. But do you really think the organization was just assuming that they were going to go to the Super Bowl? Probably not, right? Like they were hoping.
But that team was one piece away, man. Look at what they were producing with Jameis Winston, who was throwing 30 interceptions, man.
Yeah, well,
I
they
think
were one piece away at that time, right? Like, but I'm saying, like, it's right now this team is in a position because they don't have any room for error. My point is at that point, when they brought Tom Brady in, it's not like they were, boom or bust. We have to go to the Super Bowl this year. They were hoping that Tom Brady was going to get them there over the next couple years. It just so happened that that him and the rest of the team did it last year, right? But right now, this team has no margin for error. They have to get it right this year. Otherwise, it's going to be a big deal. I'm telling you, man, it's going to be it's going to be a big problem if they don't.
What's killing me is I feel comfortable with
that. Sounds like boom or bust.
I feel comfortable with the three in the middle.
Look, I didn't take on.
Hold on a sec. Let Todd make it.
Yeah. Todd, go.
I'm saying and what's killing me is I feel comfortable with the three in the middle. It's just the two tackles. That's all it is.
I agree.
Dieter's
and that's what
I'm fine with Solomon Kinley at left guard.
And that's what pisses me off. They keep putting Kinley in second on second teams, but they're leaving Jackson.
Dude,
with that's
try
crazy
Eichenberg because I'm telling you right now, two things are at play: the investment, 19th pick, and the stubbornness of we can develop him. He'll be fine.
And look, Dieter, I said Dieter's been a pleasant surprise to me to this point, but it is still just training camp and everything. So we have to see how that plays out through the rest of the season. Because up until this point, he hasn't really shown much of anything. And so you're not going to just overcome a couple years worth of bad in 1 week for me. You got to prove it a little bit more, but he has been a pleasant surprise. So, look, I still, I've said it. That's been like my number one thing. And it could be a real major Achilles heel for this team. And I just, it's not a good thing if it is. Like,
dude, I'm telling you right now, if Tua gets hurt,
oh my God, I can't.
Or this offensive line prevents us because of key drives getting stalled from making the playoffs. All these people that can't believe we're even having this. People can't believe we're having this conversation right now are going to turn on Fords in the blink of an eye, bro.
In a blink of an eye.
All we're doing is being objective. We're looking at the big picture because there's so many amazing things going on, right? Because how many years has it been that we even had expectations, right? We always had hope.
Dude, and think about Stephen Ross.
Competent.
Look what Stephen Ross said in that when they opened up the training facility. He talked about like winning a Super Bowl in the next couple of years. Listen, I'm telling you right now, for everyone in this fan base, all these people trying to put on a smiley face and they're really crying behind it, it's playoffs or bust. If this team does not make the playoffs, the fan base will be like Twitter will like turn upside down, bro.
Yeah.
And a lot of those fans will then just, flip on that dime and then be demanding that people get fired and we tear down the house again. And it's
agreed.
Why do you want to be so destructive?
This is the year.
I'm telling you right now, like this offensive line better not hold us back because we have not since I want to say Jimmy Johnson. It was either Jimmy Johnson or Wanstead. We have not had 3 years in a row where we get better in terms of record-wise, increasing the win total over a 3-year span. It's either Jimmy Johnson or Wanstead. We haven't done that since.
Yeah.
I think it was Wanstead because I think Johnson only had 2 years.
I'm pretty sure it was Wanstead too. Yeah.
So I mean, think about that. Like, how long has that been, bro?
Yes.
Like, let's be honest. The whole reason we went to the playoffs with Chad Pennington is everyone wants to. All these people gobble Chad Pennington. I'm like, bro, that was the Wildcat and Ronnie Brown. That's the reason we went to the playoffs that year.
Oh,
If we didn't have the Wildcat that year and Ronnie Brown, I don't think we make the
Ronnie.
playoffs, man.
Yeah, I
That's
mean
the
that
way
We
was
caught a lot of people off guard.
I'm on the other side of that
A lot of
coin,
defense
right?
was
I
on
don't think that
skates.
the Wildcat was going to get us all the way there without Chad Pennington. I was a Chad Pennington fan because he was one of the few quarterbacks that gave me a little bit of hope.
His
You know what
arm
I
was
mean?
shot.
Well, he
though.
never turned over the ball.
His
He was
arm
Well,
was
I mean,
shot
check
at that point.
down Prince.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I
he-
mean, call it
he
whatever you want to
obviously-
call it, but he was efficient. I mean,
He did what he
I
had to
can't
do.
say, yeah,
Right, he was
you
a game
know.
man. He was the ultimate
But
game
that was the
manager.
the Wildcat won us a ton of
I hear
games,
you.
man.
Yeah,
That was that was the
I hear
secret.
you.
We
I hear
destroyed
you.
the Patriots with it. on
That,
the
and
opening
without
drive.
without the Wildcat, the Patriots probably give us the fucking work that game. Who are we kidding ourselves right now?
Yeah.
Talk to me nice, Reason.
We
You know what,
destroyed
Reason?
them for that
I
one.
think it comes down to what you said.
Hold on, Ronnie
They
Brown
think-
just scored again. Hold on, let me check my phone. I just got
They
it.
think they
just
think
scored
they can develop
again.
offensive
Right there.
linemen. Ever since Flores has been here, every O lineman we've brought in is someone they think that they can develop.
Develop,
Even,
right.
You know,
And the only
Dude, look
sure
at the
thing
two guys
so
they've
far-
traded for. Isaiah Wilson and Greg Little are both reclamation projects.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
You
the
know why?
closest thing-
Because they didn't want to pony up the cost, bro.
And again, being objective, I think this is a byproduct of everything that we did last offseason with all of these players that we signed and brought on that we
Yeah.
thought that we could reclaim or I don't even know the term, make them a reclamation project, right? We're supposed to work on the Flowers, right? He was coming into his own as a guard. We're supposed to keep that
Shit.
going, right?
Yeah.
And here we go with Van Noy, right? We're going to see what he does, up in New England, but we wasted a lot of resources. You already talked about it. I mean, over $100 million that we spent is already out the door. And we didn't even actually blink an eye. Like we just did it like nobody's seen it happen.
Like it didn't even matter. Like it was nothing.
Crazy. This whole offensive line thing, though, it actually goes beyond, and I think that's why Greer will take the fall for it. It goes beyond Flores. This is like a 2015, like this is an issue for like 10, 15 years now. Other than the 1 year where we had the unicorn line, and that's because Tunsil magically fell in their lap, and they went out and they signed Brandon Albert, so we didn't draft him. They drafted Pouncey. Jawan James, look at what he ended up turning into. He basically got paid and played like no snaps in Denver, and has had to retire because of his injury issues and shit. Like this isn't a serious. And Greer is the one you can point to because he's been around the longest. Now, Flores is not helping the situation. Flores is not helping the situation with the carousel at the offensive line coaching position. That's an issue too, because the issues you have with these guys, they can't clean up because there's no continuity in philosophy, coaching techniques, etc.
and I'm
Well,
sorry,
even-
Callahan should be here.
Yeah, I mean they obviously just don't value the offensive line in the same way. I mean, they're trying to do it like the Patriots way, but I mean they're just not the same.
Well,
They're just not
no,
the
I
same.
don't think so.
Piecemeal
right?
approach.
Like
I
what
think-
I'm
I
saying,
think
they're
the
trying
only
to
thing
do
that
it without having to pay because they don't typically pay their
I'm on a
offensive
different take.
linemen very much.
I don't think they're necessarily trying to do it the Patriots way, right? Because the Patriots, they know how to find offensive linemen. They
They
just
were good at
literally
their
pick them out of a
evaluations.
hat. They just pick them out of a hat and they just show up and block for time.
And they got a
No.
reason
but
to
here's
get
You
cocky.
know,
but hold on
the only
a
thing that
sec.
mirrors it is
Here's
the defense.
here's the difference, though.
The O line coach.
They have one of the best offensive line coaches in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Like Dante Scarniccia or whatever, however the fuck you pronounce his name. Like, dude, that guy, he worked with them for he worked with them for like how long, bro? That guy was, in the league for 34 years or something like that. Like, the guy was an absolute phenomenal coach, man. Like, that's my whole issue. Like, he was their offensive line coach in 1999, and he was the assistant head coach from 2000 to 2013 and the offensive line coach. And then from 2016 to 2019, he was the offensive line coach. So that's 20 years they had continuity at the offensive line position. That's why guys like Nate Solder would go to other teams and bust out.
Yeah.
They had this is what I'm saying. We don't have that. That's why they should have went out and just sucked it up and got Bill Callahan, bro.
And that's what
I also think but Flores is shooting himself in the foot because, again, look how much money that they're spending on the defense, but then they're neglecting important pieces on the offense. Okay, great. You got your defense, but then you're going to try to be nickel and dime offensive pieces, and that's what you get.
Well, again, that kind of goes back to what I think their philosophy is in reference with how they're thinking about the offense, like a pass to run, right? This is how I'm thinking that they're thinking about the defense as well. They're just going to build it, back to front and then let everything roll from there.
That's not a good idea.
That's a dangerous game.
Dude, and this was an issue last year. People can go back and watch, and they can watch me and Ball Game break down every single Tua Tagovailoa drop back. Robert Hunt was in his lap. Austin Jackson had the same issues they're talking about in the preseason that I saw all the way back in USC. Karras was overrated by PFF consistently. Like, Jesse Davis, when they kicked him into guard, was terrible because he didn't have the anchor and functional strength there. Like, we were 31st in the NFL in pass block win rate last year at 51%. That means we held our block for longer than 2.5 seconds, only 51% of pass block reps. So this is not something that we are reacting to. Buddy, I've been talking about this since before the draft. Why do you think I wanted them to take Penei Sewell?
Well,
yeah.
This is not new news to us. The problem is some people in the comments, they just recently found my channel, so they think, oh, they're just talking about this out in the preseason. Buddy, I've been talking about this for fucking time. The problem with the other people on Twitter and YouTube and shit like that, they pat you on the head and tell you what you want to hear. Everything's going to be all right. Tuck you in at night, sunshine lollipops blown up your ass, but I don't tell you what you want to hear. I tell you what you need to fucking hear.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
The truth, man, the truth.
They could at least read me a good bedtime story if they're going to tuck me in at night.
Yeah. And look, I agree that is actually what they are trying to do on the offense. I just don't think it's a smart way to operate because it shows a clear lack of urgency and concern for the most important part of an offense. I'm sorry, it's not quarterback, that's huge, but the most important part of an offense is the offensive line. So, and the weapons are not the most important part. All of that stuff is secondary to the wall that is in front of your quarterback, to the people that open up lanes for your running backs, to the guys that give your quarterback time to throw it to those receivers. So if the approach is we're going to build from the back, you could maybe argue that a little bit for the defense, although I still think it's important to build from the front, from the trenches. But in a Brian Flores, focus on the secondary defense, maybe you could argue that, but definitely not for the offense, man. You have to start in the trenches.
Hold on a second here. So this guy says our D's are elite and D wins Super Bowls. Bro, go back to the Trent Dilfer and the Brad Johnson led offenses that had elite defenses. Guess what they had? Good offensive lines and really good running games.
Run game.
Do we have either of those right now?
Hell no.
Hey, reason. And when that was happening, the rules favored the defense a little more than they do now.
Yeah, but the thing is, people don't realize with that good running game and that good offensive line, you can keep your elite defense off the field so they're not winded all game.
Yeah.
Yep.
And look, for everybody who's in the chat who has an issue with what we're talking about, again, what kind of a fan would a Kansas City fan be if they weren't talking about what the fuck is wrong with our O-line? Are you going to say that
you can always get better?
Fan,
no team is perfect,
right?
bro.
Are you saying that they're a bad fan because they might say like, hey, we have a problem with the O-line?
No, you know how it is, guys. You know how it is. I guarantee you, there are Chiefs YouTubers streaming about we need to fix this offensive line after the Super Bowl. It's going to be our Achilles heel. And you had people in the comments, oh, why are you complaining? We just went to the Super Bowl. Because We know we could have won that Super Bowl if we had an offensive line.
Come on. This shit is not motherfucking chess, actually. This is the checkers when you're thinking about it.
Why do you think Emmett Smith was nowhere near in the same realm as Barry Sanders? But why was Emmett Smith always in the running for rushing titles? Offensive line. I said this before we drafted Tua. You can go, the receipts are fucking on YouTube. I said, I don't care if we draft Tua, Herbert, Love, whoever. I don't care if they draft me. Go build an offensive line similar to what the Raiders and the Colts have right now. You build that wall. Why? Mediocre running backs will sniff 1,000 yards. Wide receivers who don't need to be elite, who can be mediocre to good because their quarterback will have time, can sniff 1,000-yard seasons.
Yes.
The ripple effect of the how I expect. I watch hockey, right? The offensive line is exactly what a goalie is. You can have all the pieces you want. A good defense. You can have good offensive players right in front. But if that goalie's allowing 4, 5, 6 goals a game, you ain't winning a Stanley Cup, bro.
Nope.
Oh, literally, this is the most frustrating thing about Brian Flores. He's a fantastic, elite defensive mind. No one's going to question that, okay? Now, the problem is, he, more than anyone, should understand games are won and lost in the trenches, and how you beat this team is in the fucking trenches defensively. That's how you beat us offensively. He should know that more than anyone.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what the problem is.
And that's why it's such a big deal that they are showing a very obvious lack of concern there, right? Very obvious lack of concern. You know this better than anybody because you're there every single day and you see this shit, but you're not man enough to be like, well, we probably reached on Austin Jackson and maybe we should do a little bit more. Instead, you're just going to ignore it like it's not a problem and keep going on like, everything's all good. Okay.
And just grab another Austin Jackson.
Let's see how that works out for you because in the end, I mean, I hope everything works out. I really do.
Right? And what are we supposed to like sit up here and say? Like it's great that we're moving Eichenberg to guard. It's great that Kinley is is taking second team reps. What are we supposed to say? That's
here's
not
the thing.
good.
You know what the excuse was last week, sorry? Oh, well, the Bears have an elite front seven. You didn't get any argument. Now what's your excuse? Because the Falcons are not in the same realm as the Chicago Bears.
Hell no.
Reason.
No.
You were even saying this week's practice wasn't going to be a good barometer for the Dolphins because it has the Atlanta front seven. Shoot.
So, I mean,
I
don't know what to say.
You just can't move goalposts, man. You just see that's the thing is that's the difference between people who are objective and people who aren't. Right? Is every time something doesn't fit your narrative, you just move the goalpost. That's not what we. That's not
the issue here is these people. They're young. Give them time, dude. Xavier Howard and Byron Jones do not have time. They're 28. When corners hit their 30s, even ball game will tell you when corners hit their 30s. That's when they start trending downwards. How many corners that are 32, 33 are going to get 7 or 8 picks a season?
Oh, hey,
especially with knee problems.
But there's only been one corner I see going to his 30s very well, and that was it.
Gilmore?
No, Darryl Green.
So and Ogba is like 27 too as well.
And like you said, look at how many guys we got on cheap deals.
See, Richard Sherman can be all right because he plays zone. He's not. We are in a predominantly pressed man, so you can't sit in soft areas and just sit there and fucking and have your way. This one, you need to be an athlete and press man, bro.
Well, okay, we do play predominantly man, but by that token, then Byron Jones should be all right. He just needs to go to a team that plays zone and he'll be fine.
Yeah, because when he was in Dallas, they were basically 50-50 zone and man.
Yeah.
That's why he struggled a little bit last year at times, even though he had a really good season, I thought. It was because that was his first year in press man. So that's why he gets roasted in practice, bro. Because he's not used to being in a predominantly pressed man, and we got like pure like wheels out there at the receiver position.
Right.
Anyways, I got to get out of here.
Is Flores expected to win every game this year 9-6?
I have no idea what he's expecting. But I'll tell you one thing. I will tell you one thing. If he does not make the playoffs, I can't wait to see all these people react. I hope we make the playoffs because I want to see two in the playoffs. But if this offensive line holds us back,
2 more years,
then I don't want to hear nothing. All right, let's go through some final thoughts. Florida born, go ahead, bro.
Please, 8 pounds, 7 ounce golden fleece diapers, sweet baby Jesus. Let us get this O-line fixed. Just please, God. Please. Fins up.
The show says, my buddy knows nothing about the Fins. Raider fan, watches the Bear game. First thing he says, dude, your O-line is trash.
I mean, look, sorry, I know we're doing last thoughts. I
got to get out of here, yeah.
Yeah, I'm laughing about it because if I don't, I'll cry. Like,
it is what it is, man. I've been prepping people for this. So, Cash, go ahead, bro.
All right, love it all. Fan since now.
You're breaking up, dude.
Oh, you're breaking up.
What about now? Can you be better now?
Good. Yeah, you're good.
All right. Yeah, so been a Fins fan since '92. So I'm really not too concerned with some of the thoughts in the chat. It's actually comical, right? Because again, these are some of the fans that are really going to flip and jump ship, right? If shit does hit the fan. And they're going to be the same ones who are going to be all on board, right? If everything works out, right? So they're the wishy-washy, right? I'm objective. I think everyone here is objective. Reason, you're the reason why I gravitate to this channel, right? Because you're objective, right? You're just not a Dolphineer and we just do everything right? It's not that way. Everyone's looking to get better. That's what we're trying to do, right? From everything that we can see so far, the O-line is shit, right? And it's a problem.
And look at this comment, bro. Ron, 10-win offensive line. Bro, the offensive line lost this games last year. Go watch the Denver game, bro.
Oh, yeah,
dude, the defense won us 10 games last year, okay? I broke down every single dropback of Tua Tagovailoa's season last year, all 22 on this channel. The offensive line did not win us 10 games, and you're fucking delusional if you think they did. Anyways.
The O-line cost us the playoffs.
Oh, man.
Yeah, hey, bro.
Yeah.
If they could pick up a stunt or a twist or a looper, we might not have lost. Or if Austin Jackson could handle guys coming across his face, or if they could pick up disguised blitzes, we might not have lost that Denver game. But even the veterans couldn't do it. Anyways, go on ahead, Cash.
It's all good, baby. Look, Fins up, forget the nonsense. I know what I'm talking about. Reason, we're talking about, and we're talking about the same stuff. Fins up.
Well, look at what Maho says. Look at we didn't have one win versus a team with a winning record last year. We didn't beat a playoff team last year.
We started with the hardest strength of schedule, ended with one of the easiest.
That's what I'm saying.
The Rams.
So, Red Comet, go ahead, bro.
Let's just. I hope he fixes O-line because I work.
I'm telling you, watch the pitchforks and torches come out if Tua suffers because of this O-line, bro. I'm not talking about for me. Watch. Crypto, your final thoughts, dude.
Yeah, good show, Reason. Appreciate it. And I'm safely here in Chicago. Jeepers Creepers didn't get me in the cornfields in Indiana, so I'm good. So, but hey, I hope this offensive line does work out, pan out. We got to get it together. And then on the wide receiver thing, if Tua can somehow squeeze in a couple of reps with the first starters, he said he's not worried about it because he's there in the meeting rooms and everything, but I at least want them to get a few reps with the first wide receiver squad.
Dude, now this Ron guy says we are young, we are in a rebuild. If we're in a rebuild, why are they giving a guy like Byron Jones all that money? Why are they making sure X is taken care of? If you're in a rebuild, you're not thinking about winning, so you're not paying veteran players big time money. We are not in a rebuild, okay? The rebuild was over last year. All right?
Now it's expectations time.
Yeah, now the expectations have arrived, man. Stop moving the goalposts.
This is the year.
Chris, go ahead, bro.
Same thing. Not going to rehash it, though. Lonnie's fixed and ends up. That's it.
Yeah, man.
Todd, your final thoughts.
Man, I hope we go after Reamers now, seeing that Lucas Niang is comfortably taking the #1 reps at right tackle in Kansas City. Just needs something on that right side. And
Told you that guy's gonna be a stud in this NFL in this league.
And I know that broke my heart today. That's one of the first things I commented on your thing. Down in the comments before you even came on.
Could have drafted him in the second instead of reaching on Austin Jackson.
Yep. But no, just they need to do something. It's sad to say we are 2 tackles away from making a deep run and trying to do something special in the play.
Yep. Because you know what Kinley comes off to me? Kinley comes off to me like he's a gamer. He'll show up on game day. Dude, I played sports with people like that where I practice. They look like jabronis. The whistle blows on game day and they're out there balling.
Yep.
Kinley's going to be fine. Hunt's going to be what I told all y'all he's going to be. And now the team believes it themselves. He'll be all pro.
Surprisingly doing pretty decent.
Dieter looks like he's going to hold his own. And even Skura looked good against Chicago. So I'm not really worried. It looks like we've upgraded from Ted Karras. So I'm not worried about the interior. The tackles are the issue.
Thumbs up, everybody. Y'all have a good night. Be safe and get well, Reason.
Thank you, bro. Pyro, your final thought.
Well, it's crazy that Flores comes from the Belichick, coaching tree and stuff, and he doesn't prioritize the trenches as much as Belichick does. It's very fucking weird. And
right.
That's just that I just nicknamed this offense the glass cannon because it will hurt you, it will hurt defense, it will tear them up, but once you hit it right, it'll fall the fuck apart. Fins up.
Yeah. All right, guys. I will be back tomorrow night. I'll be back around 9:00 because I got to record the finish line with Richmond, Webb, and Mr. Ballgame. So I'll be back at 9:00 tomorrow. We'll recap. We'll do it all over again. Again, sorry for my internet crapping out for a little bit there. But I appreciate all of you for coming out. Stay happy, healthy, safe, and blessed. And it's Fins up all day, every day.
Peace.
Hit the like button. Hit the like button.